24-10 over Trinity International. And you look at these two teams on paper, I think they match up pretty similarly.
Yeah, the one thing that I will point out about Missouri Baptist is their front four. They are a fearsome group. You're looking at Jeremiah Austin, who's got 11.5 tackles for loss and 9 sacks, leading the team in both categories. But also, Giovanni Sainz Jr. and Raekwon Ramsey both have 11.5 tackles for loss as well. These guys are wrecking balls and can really ruin your day on offense if you don't handle them accordingly.
Yeah, and that's going to be a point of emphasis today for the Judson offense. Last week, well, it didn't go exactly as they planned. Christian Miller, 21 of 36, 173 yards, did throw 2 interceptions, did pick up a touchdown, but the part that stands out the most, 6 points. He didn't have a lot of time, and if they're going to have an opportunity to put up points today, they're going to have to do a better job of keeping Miller clean.
Yeah, well, and we're going to see the same offensive line alignment roll out as we saw last week, right? So we'll see Caleb Davis at left guard. We'll see Tyler Silverstrand at right guard and Antonio Rios at center. Mahmoud Jihad, Derek DeVries still at the ends at tackle. So maybe with a little bit more chemistry and longevity in this role, maybe we'll see a little bit more continuity and comfortability from this offensive line.
Captains have taken the field for both teams, and it is official.
Guys, have a good game.
Toss. They have deferred, and we'll get the ball to begin the second half. Judson has elected to receive, and we'll get the ball first. And, well, let's see if Judson can get something going. That first drive against St. Xavier, they did move the ball. Thought they had a touchdown, was ended up overturned, ended up being called incomplete. And an opportunity to start fast. Let's see if Judson can do that.
Yeah, and I think that the weather is going to have a gigantic impact on today's game. Yes, the rain clearing out of the area, but it's still incredibly windy here, and it's going to make it difficult to throw the ball down the field today. Look for a lot of screens. Look for the running game to really show up today. The Eagles, a top 30 program in the NAIA at running the football in terms of yards per game. So even with Brandon Mackey being out, Sharon Boyd, Nigel Bruce have been able to pick up a little bit of the load here. So we'll see how that plays today.
Yeah, they're going to play a vital role in this one. Boyd got the start, 21 carries, 57 yards last week. Expect to see Nigel Bruce get in there too. And again, just tuning in, Jared Schlensky joined by Ryan Sartori as we get you underway for this Mid-States football. Gold helmets and navy blue jerseys, the visiting Missouri Baptist Spartans with the blue and white helmets and the blue jerseys. Back to return for the Eagles, Nigel Bruce and Evant Rowe, who we saw get involved a lot last week in the receiving game for the first time all season.
He had the biggest game of his career at the college level so far. Though it was only 4 catches for 9 yards, he was very much a part of the offense last week.
An absolute boot off the right leg of O'Dane Reed, and it'll be Judson football from their own 25 to start this one.
So here comes Christian Miller, like you said last week, 21 of 36, threw a touchdown but also 2 interceptions. He was only sacked once, even though he had the new alignment on the offensive line in front of him last week. He did not play against MoBap last year, so this is a new opponent for him. Again, watch this front four of the Missouri Baptist defense.
Yeah, starting offensive line from left to right, Derek DeVries, Tyler Silverstrand, Antonio Rios, Caleb Davis, and Mahmoud Jihad. The starting quarterback, Christian Miller at tight end, Keontae Fox, the running back, Sharon Boyd, and the receivers, Alex Siebens, Ovante Vickers, and Jordan West. First down and 10 on this windy Saturday afternoon. Fake the jet sweep. It goes off tackle to Sharon Boyd, and Boyd gets about 2 yards on first down.
A lot of misdirection there, trying to get eyes looking in different directions, momentum going in different directions. It's not going to work the first play. It might not work the second play, but eventually you're going to break through with one of those.
And it's Brandon Mackey, who we thought might be out for the season, returning at running back. A surprise to us, as he is there at running back. 3 down linemen for the Missouri Baptist Spartans.
Welcome back,
7
Brandon.
in the box, yeah, and surprisingly, welcome back, Brandon.
We'll take it.
Mackey, off tackle run to the right, tries to stretch it out and fumbles, but is out of bounds. Pushing him out was Domingo Loggins, and it's going to bring up third down.
Well, and it's great to have an athlete like Brandon Mackey back, right? This guy is somebody who was breaking defenses early on in the year, had a couple games of over 180 rushing yards, was absolutely mauling people on the ground when he suffered a sprained ankle. Could have played last week. They saved him so that he could play all week this week against Missouri Baptist.
And it's going to bring up officially 3rd and 7 from the Judson 28. Let's see if Miller drops back to pass. Ovante Vickers, the man in motion. Throw it to him behind the line of scrimmage, and nothing there as Vickers is taken down behind the line. The stop comes from Thomas Cloud, and now we're going to assume Judson's going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, and Vickers coming off a little slow here, asking for a reprieve. But that's something you don't see a lot in this offense. You don't see a lot of that X receiver, Ovante Vickers, going in motion. That time he does, they're looking for a screen, especially with some of the conditions, try to get the ball in the hands of a playmaker. Just in that situation, it looked like Stevens may have missed his blocking assignment on the far side, and it leads to 4th down.
And it'll be Christian Miller at quarterback who's going to stay out there and punt. Last week we saw him and Isaiah Carrillo handle some punting duties, and again, when you lose your starting punter in Trey Sayers, well, it becomes an issue. Really low snap, Miller never able to corral it, and he is going to be tackled down inside the 10 by the special teams unit of the Missouri Baptist Spartans. The tackle made by Zeppelin Velder, and you couldn't ask for much better starting field position if you're the Missouri Baptist Spartans.
No, that's very true. It's all 3 units when you're playing football, and that was a show-out situation right there by the Spartans. But you also couldn't ask for a better first name if you're Zeppelin Velder.
If you say so. I mean, I think it's a clever name. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I don't know how to follow that up. Regardless, it brings up 1st and goal for Missouri Baptist from the Judson 10. The quarterback is Cooper Brown, and Brown gives, and quickly near the goal line on 1st down is Lionel Banks. You talk about an excellent start for Missouri Baptist. You get the turnover on downs, and then you pick up 9.5 yards on 1st down.
Offsides on the defense.
Yeah, going to be declined. Is going to keep it at 2nd down and goal from the 1. We're just in the 1st quarter. Judson went 3 and out on their opening drive. Were unable to get the punt off, and that's why you've got the great field position here for Missouri Baptist.
If we sound a little discombobulated, we were expecting Sharon Boyd to start at running back and Brandon Mackey's back. We're expecting Ashton Strother at quarterback for Missouri Baptist, and it's Cooper Brown. So we're just trying to figure some things out at the moment.
Man, we're getting the heavy personnel in there too. Give goes to the running back Banks again, and he's in for 6. Went behind the fullback Jeremiah Austin. And Missouri Baptist on the road gets off to the exact kind of start they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that is a true show me all 3 phases of our team situation right there. The defense stands tall, gives you a quick 3 and out. The special teams unit comes through and capitalizes on a low snap. The offense goes out there and scores in 2 plays. That is exactly what you're looking for if you're head coach Jason Bereniak.
And now the point after underway from O'Dane Reed, the junior, who had an absolute boot of a kickoff to begin the game. This is up and through, and it's quickly 7-0 in favor of the Missouri Baptist Spartans. 12:03 to go still here in the 1st quarter. We're going to take our first time out here on the Judson University O'Dane Reed set to kick off for the 2nd time today. This one brings back Avant Rowe, but he will not go after it. 2 kickoffs from Reed, 2 touchbacks, and now the Judson Eagles take the field on offense for the second time today. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. 12:03 to go here in quarter number 1. Not the start you want if you're Judson. A 3-and-out, unable to get the punt off. Missouri Baptist goes to work from the Judson 10 and 2 plays in, finds the end zone.
Yeah, and I think what you have to do here if you're the Eagles is just come out and act like maybe this is your first drive. Shake it off, come out, try to start things fresh. Yes, you're working out of a 7-0 hole, but the only way to do this is to come out and think that you have a clean slate, and you do. So use this to your advantage here.
Well, let's see if they try to get Vickers involved. At the bottom of your screen is Avant Rowe. At the top of the screen is Alex Siebens. Siebens, the motion man, goes up the middle to Mackey, and Mackey does not get anything, but a flag does come in, and let's see what the call is here. You see anything that makes you think it might be, I don't know, offsides, false start, illegal motion?
Where it was thrown, I would think illegal motion here.
We'll have to wait and see.
Or an illegal shift or something of that nature.
Illegal formation, offense.
Illegal formation
that penalty
against
is declined.
Judson's going to make it first and 15. And, well, offensively, not the start you want.
Nope.
You had a couple of good carries on first and second down on the opening drive. Then you tried the pass behind the line of scrimmage on third down to Vickers. I haven't seen him come in yet. Was shaken up on the play, and he did not go out there on first down. He is here now, though.
He's got man-to-man coverage down here at the bottom of the screen against Domingo Loggins. Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see if they go his way. Pump fake by Miller. Looks to go the other way. Behind his man, though. Still caught. Still trundling forward. The tight end, Keontae Fox, into Missouri Baptist territory all the way inside the 40. And, well, that's a nice way to get going. Find your tight end.
Yeah, Keontae Fox just going right up the seam there. The throw was a little behind him, but able to make a nice adjustment, catch it, and then still pick up additional yards after the catch. Great play there by Keontae Fox. Good find by Christian Miller to not come off that read, as there was a lot of time there, and I think sometimes that alarm goes off in your head like, somebody's got to be here by now, right? Hung in the pocket, made a nice throw.
39 yards between Fox and Miller, the longest pitch and catch for those two this season. Sun starting to come out. We're just under 11 minutes here in the first quarter. Judson down 7-0. Give goes to Nigel Bruce, and Bruce stretches it all the way out past the 30 before being tripped up by Blake Knight. A good pickup there on first down, and now the Eagles getting some momentum here on offense.
Certainly, yeah. You just got to keep rolling here, right? Remember, you're just trying to shrug off that first series and come in now and really just perform. But you want to talk about an athlete. You want to talk about a great middle linebacker. Blake Knight leads the MSFA in tackles per game with 11.3. That was his 91st tackle of the season. That Mount Carmel prospect, Blake Knight, man, he's something.
Indeed he is. No play clock today. It's on the field, so we won't be able to see it. Pistol formation, Brandon Mackey behind Miller. And Mackey goes nowhere, was looking to try and go to the left.
And they're going to rule him down. That ball did come out, but I think that they blew the whistle before the ball came out. And it looked like the first man there to pick it up was 24, Daryl Krieger.
Yeah, it was Blake Knight and Giovanni Sains, along with Prater, as you said. And here comes third down in about 3 as he lost a couple at the 30.
Yeah, Mackey hasn't really been able to get anything going so far. They're trying to run it off that left side, and I don't know if he's missing a hole or something over there, but it's been a couple times now where they've gone that way, and he just runs into the back of the line over there.
We saw this a lot last week. Bottom of your screen, this stack formation. They've got Jordan West as the very far trail man. Let's see if he gets the ball here.
Mueller in motion.
Mackey jump cuts forward. He's really close to the marker. I think he's going to be just short.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark him a yard short here.
Blake Knight on the stop, and this is going to bring up fourth down.
Yeah, and they're going to leave the offense out there. I think that you kind of have to, especially given the start that you had. But now it's going to be fourth and a long one. You just have to come out and give them your best play you have for this situation. Running quick, Missouri Baptist kind of off kilter here.
Yeah, they don't look like they're on the same page. Crowding the line of scrimmage, though, are the Spartans. They lead 7-0, 8:27 to go here in the first quarter. Judson with the ball for the second time today.
Yeah,
Miller.
A lot down in the box here.
In the gun. Sprint right. Looks to keep. And I don't know if he's got it. He needed the 25. It's close.
They're going to give it to him.
Wow. You talk about a gutsy run there. Didn't look like anything was open for him. Instead, Miller makes it happen, and he's not known for his legs.
No, certainly not. But again, I think that's something that they want to work into this offense is getting the quarterback moving a little bit. It's the allure of starting Isaiah Carrillo over Christian Miller in situations like these. So if Christian can come out and start using his legs and picking up crucial first downs like that, he'll find himself nested in that starter spot firmly.
Play number 7 of the drive. Mackey tries to go to the left. Nothing there. Giovanni Sames Jr. again, the defensive end, able to get the stop. He leads his teams with 11.5 tackles for loss, and he's showing you why there.
Yeah, well, and in this matchup last year, he was a problem for the Eagles. 11 tackles, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss in this matchup last year. I mean, and this guy is just a wrecking crew, and he's only a sophomore, 6'1", 275 from O'Fallon.
Down south, very close to the border of Missouri, which is where the Missouri Baptist Spartans hail from, St. Louis. 2nd down and 10 from their own 25s. Eagles down 7-0, looking to strike. Pump fake from Miller, now gets rid of it. Incomplete. Good coverage by Blake Knight there. And Miller just did a good job of getting rid of that one, not taking a sack.
Yeah, well, and that's one of those situations where you either just cover the ball, go down with the sack, or you see something like that last second and you throw it. Either way, it's a decent decision. Some coaches would tell you just to take the sack, but if you're able to get a 3rd down and short instead of or 3rd down and where you were rather than 3rd down and further back, yeah, I guess you take that, right?
I think so. We've got Jordan West and Alex Sieben at the bottom of your screen. The top of the screen, Ovante Vickers and Avant Rowe in the slot.
They've already shown us this is 4th down territory. Just got to pick up something here.
Miller drops the pass, looks left, and nearly intercepted. He wanted Siebens there, and unable to make the play is Joe King, who got 2 hands on that ball.
And I think even there might have been some miscommunication with Jordan West. I'm not sure who that ball was supposed to be intended for, but I think that that was just kind of a busted play, and it's going to be hard to throw the ball today. Look at all the pylons right now in the end zone. All of them are on the ground because it's so windy here. So, you know, this is going to be a tough game to throw the ball. A decent shot to the back of the end zone, but again, almost intercepted.
Let's see what they draw up on 4th down. They need the Spartan 15. Mackey to the flat. Miller over the middle, caught by Avant Rowe. He's got the 1st down. Very nice pitch and catch. A hard hit delivered to by Joe King, but Rowe able to hang on and, more importantly, move the sticks.
Yeah, Avant Rowe is not he's not new to going across the middle on slant routes and stuff. Primarily played slot receiver in high school, and there he's able to take a little 5 and in and turn it into a 1st down, and that was gigantic for this drive.
Play number 11 of the drive. Judson moving. They're down 7-0. Pitch to Mackey. Works the left side and can't get free. There's Joe King. Dropped the pick earlier. Instead here makes up for it with a tackle for loss, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, coming all the way down from his safety position to make that tackle. I think they're going to end up giving Mackey a gain of 1 and make it 2nd and 9 here, but still tremendous athleticism to come down from. I think he was playing kind of a shell coverage right there as a deep safety. It came down and made a great tackle.
He sure did. Judson trailing 7-0. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori on this windy Saturday afternoon. Spartans of Missouri Baptist looking for their 2nd conference win. Judson looking for their 1st. Miller drops back with time. Rolls right, throws across his body. There's Mackey up the middle. Mackey may have gotten face mask. Doesn't matter. He's in for 6. Christian Miller finds Brandon Mackey And well, they're glad to have him back. He's been out the last 2 weeks. Now he finds the end zone.
And that was no easy pass to get it to Brandon Mackey, going across your body with a gigantic human chasing you from behind. Just to be able to get a throw off is impressive. To complete it is a completely other thing.
Second down.
Mackey goes all the way through the defense, and that was just incredible.
And it looks like we've got a penalty following the play. I'm not sure if it was unsportsmanlike conduct or not.
It brought the touchdown back. So as we're lauding Brandon Mackey and the throw, that touchdown's coming back.
It sure is. So instead of 6, it's second down, and they're going to replay it from the 13. Wow, that's a drive killer right there.
No, that definitely is. It's a morale killer, too. That's how their first scoring drive went last week. We talked about it in the open. They thought they had a touchdown in the end zone. They rule it incomplete. Now it's 2nd and 11.
Miller to throw over the middle, a little bit high, but a leaping grab by Alex Siebens.
Touchdown number 5 on the year.
And a big reception by Alex Siebens, his 5th, and more importantly, puts this Judson Eagles team within a point.
Man, that was a snag. You know what I mean? That was probably thrown a little bit high and a little bit away from him, but Siebens goes up there with great hands on a wet, windy day and makes a phenomenal catch. That freshman from DeKalb, man, he's been something this year. That's catch number 24 on the year, touchdown number 5. He's having a great start to his young career.
Ryan Ote to hold. The point after is up and through, and it is made by Caleb Williams. And it's a 7-7 game here with 5:21 to go here in the first. We'll take another timeout here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. Man, thanks, Austin.
Thank you. It's like having extra intel. It's fun to like think I always just say this guy with like a question mark at the end, and it works.
Judson responds with a 12-play, 75-yard drive to tie this one up at 7, courtesy of the point after from Manuel Romero. And it'll be Romero now to kick off. This one is high and hauled in inside the 25, and room to run for Jacob Harns. And Harns all the way out past the 40, near the 45, and that's where Missouri Baptist will go to work offensively. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Missouri Baptist, their first offensive series, while they started at the Judson 10 and found the end zone on 2 plays, fed the ball to their star running back, Lionel Banks, and now the Judson defense looking for their first stop here in this one.
Yeah, and they're just going to have to come out here and stop the run. I think that's probably going to be what the Spartans look to do today. 2 handoffs inside the 10. And Lionel Banks, I think, got touched once by one dude who tackled him on the goal line. And then the touchdown run, he was untouched into the end zone. So just focus on stopping that and make him beat you with the pass.
Pass is behind the line of scrimmage and falls to the turf. It was Shane Becker looking for the football there, and it was a little bit too low and out of reach from Cooper Brown. Cooper Brown was listed as the backup quarterback for this week. Today, he's starting.
Yeah, and this is a guy, I mean, he can run a little bit, senses pressure well when somebody's coming from behind. He kind of short arms the ball a little bit if you watch him. Short arms it, but somehow still very accurate down the field. Don't know how much we're going to see the deep ball from him today, but certainly an accurate passer.
Give to Banks, goes off tackle to his left and pummels forward all the way to midfield. Good hit delivered by Noah Solis. Keep him short of the marker. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. 5 minutes and counting here to go in quarter number 1. We're tied up at 7. First drive went well for Missouri Baptist. 2 plays from the Judson 10, and now, well, their first, I guess, real official series. They got to go to work from just inside their 40.
Yeah, you brought up Noah Solis. Wanted to mention real quick, last week he started at safety for the first time, listed as a wide receiver, led the team in tackles last week.
Now, a very talented player. Third down, less than a yard. Give to Banks, and Banks has the first down and then some. Makes his way all the way out to the Judson 47. And it'll be another first down for the Missouri Baptist Spartans.
I know Lionel Banks is from Florissant, Missouri, but we're up closer to Chicago today. We might just have to call him the L train, because this guy's running all over the place right now.
Yeah, he is. Lionel Banks already has 1 touchdown, 5 carries for just about 20 yards. 7-7 our score. Sun is starting to poke out from the dark clouds behind us. It was pouring rain when I got here around 11:30. First and 10, low snap. Cooper Brown rolls right. Thought about throwing. Now goes over the middle of the field and finds his man, Josh Munn. And Munn has the first down and then some. E.J. Glover, a nice tackle on hand, but it's not going to be enough to prevent the first down.
Yeah, right now we're not seeing a whole lot of heels digging in, so to speak. There's been no stop at the line, stop behind the line. There's been none of that. For the most part, the Spartans have been able to stay on schedule every set of downs so far.
First and 10 for the Missouri Baptist Spartans at the Judson 43, tied 7-7. Both teams now have had the ball twice offensively. Stacked receivers set to both sides. Lionel Banks takes the carry, tries to go between the guard and center on the left side, and is hit by Josh Mason, won't get more than a couple of yards.
Josh Mason may have even been getting held right there as he kind of crashed to the ground and grabbed a running back and just slung him to the ground with him. So a good play right there, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You need a couple of those throughout a set of downs, obviously, in order to force a punt. Get a gain of 1. It's 2nd and long now. You keep them behind their script here.
Play number 6 of the drive, still tied 7-all. Game clock rolls under 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Josh Munn at the top of your screen. At the bottom of your screen, it's Jacob Harns. Banks takes the give, reverses field, now cuts up the middle. He's got some running room. Grass in front of him to the 10, the 5, the end zone. Wow! Lionel Banks weaves his way through from 42 yards out, and it is Missouri Baptist 13, Judson 7.
Yeah, the only guy who had a chance at a tackle right there was Noah Solis. He almost had him, kind of tripped him up, but the L train, Lionel Banks, able to keep his feet and go all the way to the end zone. A 42-yard run, that's no small feat.
Lionel Banks making it look easy on the run from 42 yards out. He now has 57 yards on just 6 carries, and I guess more important, 2 touchdowns. Point after is up and through by O'Dane Reed, and with still time to go here in the first, it's Judson trailing Missouri Baptist 14-7. We're going to take another timeout here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. Out his 2nd touchdown score today, and it's Missouri Baptist on the road on top of Judson 14-7. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Kick is up from O'Dane Reed, and Avant Rowe will even take it out. It'll be Judson ball from their own 25. We saw this Missouri Baptist team get some third downs, but give them credit. They just kept feeding their workhorse Banks, and he kept making things happen.
Yeah, well, and this is a game where if your running back's working well, don't do anything different. Keep handing him the ball, keep seeing what he can do. I don't even think that was a designed counter run on that touchdown run. I think he was coming off the left side. Things closed up. He made one cut, went across the field, and there he goes. It was a touchdown, 42 yards, like we said. That was just a great play by a good running back, and a young one at that.
Yeah, it sure was indeed, and it's given Missouri Baptist its second lead today at 14-7. Stack formation to the right. Alex Siebens, the trail man. Mackey off tackle, gets drilled and lunges forward past the 25 for maybe a yard or two. The hit made by Jeremiah Austin, and it's going to bring up second down.
Yeah, and again, you can't give up on your running game early on. You have to keep pounding away, plugging away, even if it only gets you 2 yards. Eventually, you're going to break something, especially with an athlete like Brandon Mackey.
Game clock rolls under 2 minutes. Missouri Baptist has yet to trail today. They lead 14-7. Both teams have struggled in conference play. Judson hoping to get its first conference win of the season. Missouri Baptist 1-6 in conference play, but if they win today, it would be their second consecutive conference victory. Christian Miller gives again to Mackey. Mackey, a good seam up the middle, fights off a tackle, keeps his legs churning, and makes his way out past the 35, close to the 38, before being dragged down by Blake Knight.
Listen, Sharon Boyd, Nigel Bruce, both great in their own right. But what I missed the past couple of weeks was Brandon Mackey and fighting for those extra yards. He's got 3 guys hanging all over him, and somehow he's still holding on tight to that football and trucking downfield.
Yeah, he's got 3 games this season with over 200 yards from scrimmage. And well, today, Mackey, maybe not 100%, doing a good job of getting yards.
Yeah, and he looks a little dinged up right now, holding that right elbow a little bit as he gets ready to set up behind Christian Miller here.
Game clock rolls under a minute. This could be the final play of the quarter. It's Mackey again, and Mackey goes nowhere. Anthony Graham and Giovanni Sains get the stop. And, well, Mackey, give him credit. He's already touched the ball 10 times, and he's got close to 20 yards.
Yeah, he's going to be kind of running to a buzzsaw all day. He's going to probably touch the ball, I would say maybe 25, possibly 30 times today, given the script the offense is running right now. And he is likely not going to get a ton every single play, but he's going to have his breaks where he gets 9, where he gets 7, where he gets maybe a 15-yarder, and eventually he'll break a big one, I think.
I think that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter. 14-7 our score. Judson trails, but with the ball and moving it effectively. We'll take another timeout here on the Eagles YouTube network. We'll be back shortly for the resumption of this first half.
Did you read up on their defensive coordinator at all?
Who's that?
Lopez, DC.
I did. Second quarter is upon us here from Streamwood High School, home of the Sabres. It also has been the home of the Judson Eagles' second season as an NAIA football program. Jared Schlinsky joined by Ryan Sartori. We've got a good one on hand. 14-7 our score. Missouri Baptist on top, looking for their second straight road win. But Judson with the ball, moving it effectively, hoping to get their first conference win of the year.
Yeah, and they got a big play here to try to remain on schedule. Second down and long.
2nd and 9. Miller with all day. Now chucks it deep to the left. Wow, look at the wind. It made that thing look like a knuckleball, and Siebens had no chance. Good coverage on the back end by Zeppelin Velder, and we talked about this win earlier. It's took the cones off the pylon. Well, you saw why. It's going to be hard to throw the ball today.
You haven't seen a knuckleball like that since Tim Wakefield. Mercy.
Indeed, indeed. I don't know how to follow that up. Yeah, Tim Wakefield had a good one, and that was a knuckleball to say the least. brings up 3rd down and 9 with 14:52, and Judson is going into the win. This is going to make things more difficult from a passing standpoint.
And man, I mean, if you're running a 9 route and you're trying to, run under the ball, you might have to run serpentine to get under that.
5-man rush. Miller throws as he's hit and caught right near the marker. Really close to a 1st down and hauled in by Jordan West. And I've got to think this is going to allow Judson to go for it here.
Yeah, I think this automatically forces you to do it, and I wonder if Jordan West is a duck hunter at all, because he just found himself a duck in midair, snagged it, secured it, went to the ground.
Yeah, hauled it in right on top of Blake Knight, who was all over him. I'm not even sure West was the intended receiver on that play, but regardless, it gets them 8.5. And down 14-7, this is going to bring up 4th and goal, 4th down and less than a yard from the Judson 47.
That was just a little Saturday magic right there. That's what that is.
Can't say Saturday night fever. I got Saturday afternoon fever.
Yeah.
Christian Miller fakes it to Mackey to the slot. Rowe still on his feet, breaks free and gets the 1st down. Velder had him in his sights, and Avant Rowe looked like he was trying to kick his shoe off. Somehow gets the 1st down.
Yeah, I don't even have an ism for that. He was just kind of stuck in the mud, shook it off, gave a shimmy down the sideline. 1st down on 4th down.
Wow.
That was nuts.
That might be, better lucky than good, as they say?
I think so. I think that, yeah. I don't know how you practice that. I don't think you do. You're born with a special set of skills, like Liam Neeson or something.
1st down for the Judson Eagles, thanks to the running of Avant Rowe. Play fake. Miller with time airs it out. A good ball for Avant Rowe. A little too far out of his reach. And again, I think the wind had a lot to do with it there.
Yeah, it's like airplanes, right? I think that's how airplanes work. Is if they're sailing through the wind, they got that updraft. I think that's what happened to the football right there. That updraft hit and it just kept sailing. It's the 2nd week that I've attempted to talk about science in a football broadcast. Last week, what was it, force I was talking about? And I think somebody properly corrected me in the chat. So maybe I should just hang up the science talk.
Judson moving the football. 2nd down and 10, 13:05 to go here in the 1st half. Eagles down 14-7. Brandon Mackey, big hole on the left side, gets a great block from Siebens and makes his way past the Missouri Baptist 40. And he's going to get about 5 yards before Velder brought him down. And it's not pretty necessarily today, but give this Judson team, they're clawing through it.
Well, and it doesn't have to be pretty right now. You're only trailing by a touchdown, and technically you've really only given up one meaningful drive in this game, right? So I think the Eagles are playing really good football right now, especially for their opponent and the conditions. I think they're operating just fine right now.
Brings up 3rd down and about 5. Christian Miller with 2 receivers at the top of your screen. That stack formation, Jordan West behind Alex Siebens. Instead, up the gut, Mackey pushes forward. He is going to be short, dragged down from behind by Sains and Graham. And this is a huge 4th down here. We've already seen this Judson team pick up 2 4th downs. Can they make it a 3rd?
Well, yeah, and eventually the horseshoe runs out of luck, right? Or one of the leaves falls off the 4-leaf clover. But this is going to be like a long 4, and that's all of 1.5 yards right there. So got to draw up something here good. If it's a run up the middle, you got to get a great push from the line.
It's 4th down, a little less than 2 yards. 11:35 to go. We've seen Judson pick it up on 4th down twice already on this drive. Can they do it a 3rd time?
See Mackey move down to the hip there. Now he's in motion.
Bobbled snap. Miller picks it up. Tight end wide open. There he is. Keontae Fox rumbling through past the 20 all the way down to about the 14. He picks up 22 yards and was wide open over the middle of the field.
The luck hasn't run out of the horseshoe yet, Jared. That was a low snap, bobbled by Miller. He's looking. Oh, my goodness, there's a dude wide open, naked in the middle of the field. Hits him, and then a big gain afterwards, too.
Yeah, Keontae Fox having himself a game. 2 catches, 47 yards, and both On third down, Keontae Fox came into the game with 6 catches for 54 yards. You talk about nearly doubling your production.
Yeah, well, that was Avant Rowe last week, right? I think he quadrupled his production a week ago. This is the Keontae Fox game, and why not? He's had 2 really big catches and runs here early on in this game.
If you're just tuning in, we did get a timeout there. We're going to keep it here, though, with 11:15. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. 14-7 our score. Missouri Baptist on top. And obviously the worst possible start if you're Judson. You go 3 and out. You try to punt. You muff the snap. You couldn't even get it off. Missouri Baptist scores 2 plays later, but you're able to counter and go touchdown for touchdown with them since.
Yeah, well, and they're working on another one right here, and I think that first failed punt is the reason that they've been in 4-down territory the entire game so far, aside from that punt. They just don't have anybody that's able to do that job. They're on their 8th different punter of the season. They've used 4 different kickers now, and so it's just been difficult to get things going on the special teams unit.
First down and 10 for Judson from the Spartans 20. To the left, Avante Vickers. He's in for 6. We haven't seen them hook up yet beyond the line of scrimmage till now. And Vickers picks up the touchdown grab, his 4th of the season, and they're now within 1.
Yeah, Avante Vickers, I think, just made a brilliant move outside, gave himself enough of an opening for Miller to throw a bullet basically at the pylon. Vickers lays out, lands in the end zone, and glory for the All-American Avante Vickers, as now it's
Manuel Romero to kick the point
14.
and gets it to go. Tied at 14. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we return, it'll be Judson to kick off. We've got a good one here late in the first half. We'll be back shortly here on the Eagles YouTube network.
Kind of had my fingers crossed right there on the extra point.
Well, yeah, no, he's done a good job.
Yeah. Didn't use too much leg right there either. Just kind of chipped it and had it go.
Missouri Baptist Spartans. Jared Schlensky joined by Ryan Sartori. And, well, we've got a good one so far today. And I'll tell you the difference right now, Ryan. 4th down, the Eagles picked up 3 4th downs on that drive. They're 4 for 5 on 4th down on the afternoon.
Well, you know, and it was kind of a struggle last week against Trinity on 4th down because the Spartans gave up 100% of the 4th downs that they competed against. Same thing this week, right? 3 4th downs, 3 conversions, and you just have to be better in those situations because it's an automatic possession if you do. Especially, you talk about Miller fumbling a snap and then there being a wide open man in the middle of the field. Those are the type of things that'll drive defensive coordinator Charles Coe crazy.
Omar Romero kicks off, hauled in inside the 20. Here's Roland Allen, and Allen with space works the left side and makes his way out past the 30. And that is where Missouri Baptist will go to work for their 3rd offensive series. So far, 2 series, 2 touchdowns. Judson's got to find a way to get a stop here.
Yep. Most definitely. I mean, and the way that their offense has been humming, if they get a stop, it might mean their first lead in the game for a couple of weeks, right? I was going to say that Ronald Allen on the return right there, he was the guy who had the game-winning touchdown in this matchup last year, so I'm sure there was a bunch of guys on that special teams unit coming down hard and heavy on him.
Looks like some miscommunication from the safety Maitrez Rawl and Noah Solis trying to get on the same page. First down, give to Lionel Banks. Banks with a huge run gets out to about the 38 for 7 yards. And, well, you look at what Lionel Banks has been able to do. He has been a problem today for this Judson Eagles defense. Banks so far, 7 carries for over 60 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he's just on a roll right now, and it ain't broke, so don't fix it. And they just keep turning and handing it to Lionel Banks, and he keeps getting them what they need. 2nd down and 5 here.
One receiver at the top of your screen, that's Josh Munn. Instead it goes back to Banks, and Banks stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It was Clifton Jimerson and E.J. Glover there on the stop, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
That's a great play right there. It was designed to come our way off the right side of the offensive line. It was plugged up. He tried to go the other way, and guess what? Other guys stayed home and were able to make the tackle right there and make it 3rd and 5. Manageable, but certainly not a favorable situation to be in as an offense.
Missouri Baptist, as we are in 5 minutes into the 2nd quarter, only 1 3rd down, and they picked it up. We're tied 14-14. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. And what do you do here if you're Dan Poplazik and defensive coordinator Brian Melvin?
I think you sell out on the run.
Cooper Brown steps up in the pocket. Josh Mason there, and he's going to be short on 3rd down. And now the question is, do you go for this where you are currently standing right around your own 40?
Well, it looks like they're going to send the punting unit on. But the thing is you're punting into the wind, but you have an opportunity to give your opponent a longer field to work with.
Great.
So it just is kind of an ebb and flow, and it looks like they are going to punt it here. They're on their own side of the 50. Why would you try to go for it? I guess if you're not the Eagles, right, because they're on a roll on 4th down, but we will see the punter here.
And Ryan Ote backing up to punt is Jaden George. A really wobbly snap, nearly blocked, and this is not a good punt. The wind got the best of it. Drops at midfield, takes a Judson bounce, and picked up by Judson. Oh, that is a huge risk.
Oh, my God.
And somehow lands in the hands of the Judson receiver, who was Davion Allen. And wow, probably not what he should have done, but it actually worked out for Judson.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. That time it does, but how many times have you seen that one go completely wrong for a special teamer?
More than just once. Is this the movie Dodgeball? Is this Dodgeball 2?
This is Dodgeball 2.
I don't know if you saw, they're actually considering making a sequel. They discussed it.
I wouldn't mind it. I think that somebody has to take over the role of Patches O'Houlihan, though.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Vince Vaughn do it.
And you know what? He's gotten up there, too. Well, we've got a game here, folks. 14-14, 8:47, and Judson did not get off to a hot start, but they are starting to get things cooking. Top of your screen, Alex Siebens. Motion man is Mueller.
It's almost like Mobap never even punted where the ball is.
You're exactly right, which is why I thought they might go for it. Give goes to Brandon Mackey, and he is stopped by Domingo Loggins, and this is going to bring up 2nd down in a 14-14 ball game.
Yeah, this is a go to the back of the playbook, find all the big plays that you need in order to score here. You need a lead. I think it'd be tremendous for the morale of the team, especially the offense, to have a lead against a conference opponent. You go and you try everything to score points here. Don't leave it up to chance on a 4th down and a fumbled snap. Go get it right here.
And this might be where you look for Ovante Vickers. He's already got 1 touchdown. He's on the far side, which is the top of your screen.
And he's got a mismatch up there, too.
The bottom of your screen is Alex Siebens. 3 on the line. 5-man rush. Miller looking for Vickers. Vickers not able to get it. Looked like he even went out of bounds before, so it wouldn't have mattered. Would have been illegal touching. But I like the decision with that one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, and I was trying to point out he had man-on-man over there against Domingo Loggins. They're playing 2 high safeties, but when you stack the 2 receivers on the far side and you got the 2 high safeties, somebody has to pick up the slot receiver or else he's wide open. And so that leaves you with the man-to-man coverage, and that time just a little bit too far out of bounds for the All-American Ovante Vickers.
Brings up 3rd down and 9 for this Judson team. We're tied 14-14, and 3rd down has been a problem today for the Eagles. Miller gives to Mackey, and he runs into a wall, and the wall was started by Sains. He has had himself a heck of an afternoon. And, well, with the way the wind is, you might as well go for it, because we learned the hard way for Missouri Baptist that punting really isn't going to do a whole lot.
No, and I think with the success you've had on 4th down, why not go for it? Also, you're on your 4th, 5th string punter, so I think that you have to go for it here. And I think you're feeling a little bit better about your defense, like you said, after that last stop. But to speak on Giovanni Saints, who made that last tackle, 5 tackles for him already, 3 solo, 2 of them are TFLs.
Yeah, he's done a really good job clogging up the middle there as the nose tackle. 4th down and 9, and 4th down has been money this afternoon for Judson. 4 for 5. And, well, the wind is a huge factor, but I don't think you have a choice. I think you have to throw the football. And a timeout taken by head coach Dan Poplazik, and we'll take one with them. It'll be 4th and 9 when we return. 6:45 to go here in the half. We're tied at 14. We'll be back shortly here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. They're at the Missouri Baptist 35. They need to get to the Missouri Baptist 26. Christian Miller drops back, pump fakes, hit from behind. I think the ball came out. It did. The hit delivered by Sains again, picked up by Ramsey, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. It's Missouri Baptist football.
Yeah, that was a kerfuffle. That's the way that I'll put it right there. I think all 4 guys that we mentioned in the pregame, that front 4 of the Spartans D-line broke through right there. They're able to make a big play all together. I think Sains and Ramsey were in on the tackle. It looked like Jeremiah Austin fell on the ball. They were all in there. They all made a play. That's what you needed on 4th down.
Yeah, a huge stop for Missouri Baptist. They've had the ball 3 times, have scored 2 touchdowns, but they did punt on their previous series. 6:40 to go here in the first half. Can the Judson Eagles defense get their 2nd consecutive stop? Brown gives to not Lionel Banks. This time it's the speedster Darius Morrison, and Morrison has the 1st down and makes his way into Judson territory.
Yeah, I think first time we've seen Darius Morrison today. His first carry goes for a gain of double-digit yards.
Strong run there off the left tackle down the sideline, and it's going to bring up a new set of downs at the Judson 49. 14-14 our score. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. I mentioned the sun was poking out earlier in the game. Well, now the clouds are starting to get a little bit darker above us. Brown again. This time it is, once again, Darius Morrison, and Morrison doesn't get a whole lot there, maybe a yard.
Yeah, stuffed up after a gain of, like you said, maybe a yard or 2. And again, that's what you need. They've been ripping off chunks on the ground so far. And so Judson's going to really have to dig their heels in. The clock is ticking down here, but they certainly have enough time to run whatever they want with 5:30 or so left here in this half. So they're going to keep running the ball. You got to figure it out here.
Indeed you do. 2nd down as the clock continues to roll with 5 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 receivers, the bottom of your screen. It's Josh Munn on the outside. Cooper Brown claps his hands, takes the snap, gives again to Morrison, and Morrison out closer to the 45, brought down by Bryce Heary and Clifton Jimerson.
Yeah, and again, great play right there. Gain of 3 yards. You keep them to 3rd and 6 here, 3rd and a long 6. As they come up, they'll definitely be behind the sticks. And if they punt again, I don't know. We'll have to see after this play.
Looks like the Eagles want to bring pressure. 3 down linemen, 5 on top of the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers set to the right. And the slot is Jacob Harns. Instead, it goes back to Morrison. He tries to work it outside to the left. It is short. A really good stop by E.J. Glover, and this is going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and we'll see if the personnel changes. Right now, it looks like they're going to leave the offense out there, 4th and kind of short. It'll be officially like 4th and 3 here. And everything off tackle has been working really well for them. Anything inside the tackles or between the guards has been kind of bottled up so far. I think Josh Mason has done a really nice job here early on, but they're going to eventually have to bring guys down on the flats to try to help secure that perimeter, that edge, to keep that off tackle stuff from happening.
The ball's at the Judson 42. They need to get to the Judson 39. It's 4th and 3.
Pack in the box here.
Let's see if they give it to Morrison again. He's gotten the ball a lot on this drive. They look for Morrison in the flat. It's incomplete. Excellent pressure on the back end by Chance Krajin. A turnover on downs, and Judson's going to take over with 3:36 to go here in the half.
And that's just a gigantic play, right? Chance Krajin is the anchor of your defense. He comes through there with great pressure, forces Cooper Brown to make an errant pass. I think it might have even been tipped right there. It looked like it caught a little bit of side spin midair. So great play right there by the defense. You give your offense a chance right there in the middle of the field again, and it's almost like you never punted. It's almost like there was never a turnover on downs. So now you have an opportunity. 3:30 left. You can still run whatever you'd like. You just have to be a little bit more efficient with those plays here.
Tied 14-all. 3:36 to go. Judson going into the win, working right to left offensively. Keontae Fox, the tight end, he's got 2 grabs, nearly 50 yards, the motion man. It goes to Mackey. He tries to break it out to the left and just pummels forward to about the 45. It was Blake Knight bringing him down from his waist.
Yeah, good little run there. Just run through the back of your guard. I think he even kind of gave somebody a push as he was going through the line, like, hey, I'm right behind you. Keep moving forward. We're going to run through here for about 3, and they did.
2nd down for this Judson Eagles team at their own 45, and they're going to let this clock continue to roll. And it makes sense, because if you pick up 1st downs, the clock will stop on its own. If you don't, you're going to give less time for Missouri Baptist. Hit as he throws and intercepted. Christian Miller picked off by Thomas Cloud, and Miller, a little slow to get up, was hit by Sains, and man, he's had a heck of an afternoon.
Yeah, that was as a defense, you want to be disruptive, right? Sains gets in there, lays a big hit on Christian Miller, and an interception. It just basically floats into the hands of Thomas Cloud, and it's almost like they never had a turnover on downs.
Yeah, we've said that now for both teams. 2:52 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. And this is a big drive for both teams, because if you're Missouri Baptist and you get a score, you got a chance to double up, as you're going to begin with the ball to start the 2nd half. And if you're Judson and you can get off the field, you're going to keep this game tied.
And you're really, really pulling for that, because this is an opportunity where if you're the Spartans, you can go up by 2 scores.
Morrison trying to stretch it out to the right, goes nowhere. Clifton Jimerson sniffed it out along with Bryce Heary. Wow, they did a good job setting the edge.
Clifton Jimerson was somebody early on in the season who had kind of lost his starting spot, was working behind the freshman Bryce Heary. It was about the Madonna game where he found his stride again, and a game or 2 later they had him starting at left end, and he has just been everything you could ask for from that left end position, the senior, Clifton Jimerson.
Missouri Baptist letting this clock continue to roll. Just over 2 minutes here in the 2nd quarter, tied at 14. It's Missouri Baptist with the ball. And you can see it looks like Judson's trying to call a timeout instead. Cooper Brown on the RPO finds his man in the slot. That's Shane Becker, and Becker out past the 40 as a late flag comes in. He threw it behind the line of scrimmage, so I don't think it's an illegal forward pass, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I don't know that it would come from the back judge, though there is a flag on the far sideline as well.
Let's see what the call is. Illegal block in the back against Missouri Baptist, and Judson is going to accept the penalty, so it's going to replay the down, which means it's going to remain 2nd down.
Yeah, and right there, we talk a lot about how great Bryce Heary has been this year. That time he bit really hard on the play action, allowed Cooper Brown to run free off that left end. Eventually, it was the pass backwards. It was a legal pass. But, again, that's the effect of having a successful run game. When you go to run play action and things like that, you've got DNs that are biting in hard to try to stop the run. And, again, it just gave Cooper Brown a great opportunity there.
Going to move them back 10 yards and all the way to the Missouri Baptist 48. Cooper Brown with two backs in there. Goes to the flat, and again, that's his man Shane Becker, and Becker doesn't get anything there. Heary along with Krajin again. Wow, have they had an impact here late in the second quarter.
Yeah, Bryce Heary right there says, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Well, you can't get fooled again. So he goes in there and makes a stop on the screen pass to Shane Becker.
And a timeout, I believe, taken by Judson, and I like this decision because it gives you an opportunity to possess the football late in the quarter.
Yeah, well, and third and long here, like you said, you get the timeout, a minute 17, you come with another big stop. You're going to have to air it out, but you'll have the wind at your back if you're Judson. So, yeah, I like the decision here to use a timeout.
Timeout taken. We'll keep it here with a minute 17, tied at 14. And, well, after a slow start, Ryan, this Judson football team is starting to connect not only on offense but now defense too.
Definitely, and I'd like to take a look at more of the macro picture here. This is the second to last game of the season, and they'll play Trinity International next week. Both of those games are extremely winnable for Judson, and if you're trying to stack momentum into next season, this is where you do it, right? MoBAP and Trinity International are very comparable programs to Judson. Find wins in both of those games, and you're feeling much better about yourself as an individual, as a program, as a unit moving into next season. So they need a big win here.
Indeed, indeed. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. We are in the second quarter, tied up at 14 all, and Cooper Brown tries to use his legs and doesn't get a whole lot. This is going to make it a little bit easier on fourth down. Krajin there again on the stop, along with Noah Solis. And now I would assume Judson is going to use their other timeout. And they did with a minute 9.
Yep, and we'll have to see, will the Spartans come out and try a fourth down here? I can't assume they would, but with how poorly their first punt went, it basically went up an elevator shaft and came backwards like a boomerang. That wind is blowing at about 30 miles an hour right now. We're seeing gusts as high as 38 miles per hour here in Streamwood, and so it's increasingly difficult to get a punt off.
Indeed, indeed, and well, I'm curious what we get here on fourth down. I would think you do punt, and I would tell my punter to kick it as low and to the sideline. I don't see the it doesn't really make much sense to go for it here. I mean, this is a tough one to pick up.
But you say that, and here comes the offense. Here's Cooper Brown and co., and they're going to try to pick this up.
Wow, this is surprising. Fourth down and 13. They need to get to the Judson 34-yard line. Two receivers to both sides, stack formation.
Watch a screen here.
Brown is going to give it to Morrison, and Morrison with no chance is tackled near the Judson sideline. An excellent starting field position with 62 seconds to go here in the quarter. Yeah, that's a hard one to wrap your head around.
Yeah, that just a play call, right? Like, yeah, you've seen a lot of success off the edge, but you also kind of have to assume that that's what Judson's selling out for, so why not try to shoot something maybe in the soft middle part of the field? That's a tough play call for fourth and what looked like 11 or 12, but great job by big Josh Mason getting over there, 6'2", 310, but he comes from the middle of the field all the way to the sideline to make that tackle on a speedy running back in Darius Morrison.
Yeah, after giving up 2 touchdowns on their first 2 drives, this Judson defense has only allowed 1 first down since. They are really starting to get it going on defense.
Well, you stop the run, you stop that offense for the most part, and they've been pretty good here the past couple of drives. Now you got a minute and 2 seconds, time for a 2-minute drill from Christian Miller in the offense.
Stacked formation, bottom of your screen. Up the gut, Brandon Mackey is wrapped up by Blake Knight. And, well, let's see if Judson is just content going into halftime tied at 14 or if they want to up the tempo.
Yeah, you only have one timeout here, and they might just be content going into halftime with the tie. With the tie here, there doesn't look like there's a whole ton of urgency. They've let probably 25, 30 seconds roll off the clock here. I think that's what they're going to do, Jared. Is just kind of coast into halftime with a tie.
Have to snap it one more time. Game clock is at 27 seconds. Christian Miller pump fakes. Now airs it out down the sideline. Siebens holds it inside the 20. And now if you're Christian Miller and the Judson Eagles, you got to get in the ball. And they've got him one man, make it two men hurt.
That was nuts, and what a catch right there from Siebens. They're going to come up to the line. I think I may have miscalculated how many timeouts they have. Clock stops with the chains coming,
yep.
And then they spike it there to get the stoppage at 11.8. That was everything you wanted, and that was Judson being aware of what they did last week against St. X with that stacked formation, knowing that they used a lot of screens to the back man in that formation last week. Knowing Missouri Baptist was going to watch that, the pump fake to the low man, go high to Siebens, huge catch on a windy day by the freshman from DeKalb, and now you're in a situation where you're hoping to come away with points.
And now you got to start thinking, what yard line do you need for your kicker? Your punter is new to your kicker is new to the team, and Manuel Romero, and, well, on those point afters from the two, hasn't had more than maybe 10 yards to spare. Miller to throw. Far sideline, looking for West. Can't get it to him. It's over his head and incomplete.
And 7.8 left on the clock now. It's on second down.
Yeah, which means you probably got time for one play at the absolute most.
They're going to bring on the field goal unit here.
Yeah,
and Vickers coming to the sideline.
And I'm not entirely surprised by this. Romero has been able to get off with a little bit of breathing room on the point after. This is going to be a far kick, though.
It's going to be a 32-yarder or so from here, and this is his first field goal attempt.
Yeah, first career field goal attempt for Omar Romero, and it is, I think, blocked at the line. Regardless, though, a good closeout to the first half. If you're Judson, you're tied at 14, and it'll just be one more snap probably for the final play of the quarter.
Yeah, probably just a kneel down here from Mobap, and I think you're really frustrated if you're Judson not getting points out of that. I think you probably could have run one more play towards the end zone before you brought the field goal unit out. Again, it was just second down, so I feel like you could have maybe even run two more plays given what exactly you ran and how quickly you threw it. But instead, they'll go into the locker room likely with a 14-14 tie here. And you can't be mad about that.
No, not at all. And a kneel down from Missouri Baptist brings us to the half. We'll take a timeout when we return, recap the first half, and then get you ready for the start of the second half. But after one half of play, it's Judson 14, Missouri Baptist 14 here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. The start of the second half is about 7 minutes away, and well, the first half has been quite entertaining to say the least. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori tied up at 14 after the first half, and it was all Missouri Baptist to begin this one. The Judson Eagles go 3 and out. They try to punt from their own 20. Well, unable to get the punt off. Missouri Baptist goes to work from their own 10. They find the end zone 2 plays later. Judson does counter, but then Missouri Baptist quickly scores again. However, Judson able to counter, tie the game at 14-14. Saw some really good defense to close out the second quarter. And that's where we're at right now as we get ready to begin the third quarter.
Yeah, Jared, what I really liked from Judson is that you saw a clear game plan. They recognized what Missouri Baptist was doing to them. They recognized what they needed to do in order to stick around in this game. And they did it. To start the game, Lionel Banks was absolutely tearing off chunks against the Eagles. And he currently has 8 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of those came on that opening drive. But the Eagles came together. They started stopping the run, especially inside the guards. Off tackle, still something to work on for the boys in blue. But they looked better towards the end of that second quarter, and they've really been able to bottle them up for the most part, especially in the second quarter.
And I'll tell you what, the difference right now for the Judson Eagles offense, fourth down, 4 of 6, and well, that's been huge because they're 0 for 6 on third down, and they have struggled on third down all season long. Coming into today, the Eagles were 33 of 123 on third down, 26%. But, like I said, 4 for 6 on fourth down. This team has done an excellent job, especially today, of being able to put themselves in fourth and manageable and, more importantly, convert on fourth and manageable.
Yeah, well, and it's been a little bit of luck, right? But eventually luck turns into just flat out being good at certain situations, right? And I think that's maybe where the Eagles are headed today, is that they are just simply really good at fourth down today. It's been great production from Keontae Fox, who we haven't called his name a ton this year, but he's got 2 of the biggest plays on the day for the Eagles, including a fourth down conversion that looked like it was misery from the start. But Christian Miller, manning a pretty good offense today, has made some pretty good throws despite the wind, and having Brandon Mackey back has really helped them out too, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Brandon Mackey, 16 carries, 34 yards. And while you look at this Judson offense, well, they're starting to piece it together. 157 yards through the air from Christian Miller, and then 4 different receivers, most notably Keontae Fox, 3 catches, 68 yards. Ovante Vickers, just an outstanding catch. And for Missouri Baptist, only 10 yards on the ground, but, well, they've got close to 100 yards rushing. But right now, the defenses for both teams really starting to amp it up. You expect to see that continue over into the second half?
Yeah, well, I expect to see some tweaks from both the offenses too, right? So the defenses are going to come out, probably get punched in the mouth a little bit on those first drives. But after that, I think that things will kind of stabilize a bit. I'm excited for a second half. I think these two teams, I mentioned it a couple times in the first half, are very evenly matched. And this could be one where we're on the edge of our seats come the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, just like this game was last year.
Yeah, and you look at defensively, the Eagles, they're going to have to find a way to slow down Giovanni Sains if they're going to have any chance to pull out the win here in the second half. Sains leads all tacklers with 7, but he's got 2 tackles for loss, and he's done an excellent job as the 3 technique, just blowing up the middle. And the Judson's offensive line has really had no answer for him.
No, I mean, and who really has an answer for a dude who's 6'1", 275, and extremely athletic? It's hard to have an answer for somebody like that. But I think he also benefits a lot from having a guy like Anthony Graham next to him, who doesn't have the flashy stats, but he's a senior, eats up a lot of blocks, and I think allows Giovanni Sains to be the guy that he is. Anthony Graham, 6 foot. 395, like I said, a senior from Belleville, Illinois. That guy is a body eater and allows Giovanni Sains to be who he is.
Well, let's talk now about the start of the second half. Both teams have taken the field, getting stretched out. You finish this sentence for me. Judson University wins this game if
they stay disciplined. I think mainly the thing that I'm looking for is blocks from the wide receivers. I think that we've seen a lot of promise for run plays going off the outside, but maybe just a couple of wide receivers missing their blocking assignments or whatever it may be, right? I think if you see better contain on the outside for run plays from wide receiver blocking. This could be a game that very quickly swings in favor of the Eagles.
And I'll turn the tables on you. We asked you what Judson needs to do to pull out the win. What does Missouri Baptist need to do if they're going to come out of here with another road win?
I think that they're going to have to figure out how to throw the ball. I think that they're going to have to maybe learn to trust the arm of Cooper Brown, though I don't know how much that they do coming into today. He had 1 touchdown and 6 interceptions for something like 147 attempts on the year. So, I mean, he'll turn the ball over every once in a while. I think that they, with the win, don't necessarily trust him a ton today. I think they're going to have to because I think Judson is really starting to lock in on that run game. Therefore, you have to throw the ball eventually, and they haven't been able to do so with any success. If you look at the numbers today for Brown, 2 for 4 for 10 yards in a full quarter of play.
And we are just about 60 seconds away from the start of the second half, and, well, it was pouring rain when we got here, Ryan, around 12 o'clock, and it was still windy then, but the wind has only picked up. I guess the only positive is that the sun is starting to poke out, but the wind has been a major factor. In fact, there was a wind warning here in Cook County this morning.
Yeah, well, I was watching, just kind of observing an empty field, and I think there's a football that made a runaway attempt on the far left side of the field. It just kept rolling and rolling. Eventually, the fence over there got it. But yeah, needless to say, that story about the runaway football is just to say it's windy. If you leave your footballs unattended, they will fly away, much like Yorkies around like eagles or something.
Yeah, and it's really affected the punting game more than anything. We've seen a couple of wobbly passes, but neither punter have been able to get much distance. And, that's going to be a problem, especially if teams are unable to move the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, we just saw a bench blow over. I don't know if people at home are able to see that, but like a bench that players sit on just blew over. That's how windy it is here right now. I think it might mean that everybody's in 4-down territory for the rest of the game. It just might lead to that. And if that happens, chaos ensues. One thing that I'm always here for, Jared, chaos.
Yeah.
On the football field. I love chaos.
Well, we'll see what happens when we get underway, and it will be... Didn't Judson get the ball to begin the game?
It was defer by Mobap, and they elected to.
Judson began with the football. I'm surprised Missouri Baptist is kicking off. I don't know why this is happening. But either way, a low line drive kick, pick, and return. Either way, Judson football is now.
We'll take possession. You kind of hope for. They didn't capitalize on it. They pull off the line. They got the turnover run down from and the ball. There's a minute of clock roll. Heave the ball down the field to Alex Siebens, who was inside the 10. One zone, don't convert the touchdown, and then they try for the field goal on second down. It was a kind of a tumultuous end of the half. They're definitely looking for points here.
It'll be Judson football from their own 37. 14:53 to go here in the third quarter. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sorry. We're tied at 14. Christian Miller under center gives to Nigel Bruce. He's got a huge hole, and it is Brandon Mackey, past midfield all the way to the Missouri Baptist 46. Hit hard by Joe King, but he's going to pick up about 15 yards there on first down.
That's a hit. I feel like if you're a running back, you don't feel that one. You just picked up a big chunk, 15, 18 yards, whatever it might be. You pick up that chunk, you don't feel the hit from the safety. You kidding me? You're on an emotional high at that point.
First down for these Judson Eagles. They've yet to lead today, and we have yet to see Judson go under center prior to the previous play. They're under center again. Give to Brandon Mackey, and Mackey goes nowhere. Stuffed out by Raekwon Ramsey, the junior defensive end, is going to bring up 2nd down and 10.
I legitimately think we've seen the winds pick up here a little bit, and I think that's why Judson's going under center, is because literally just the snap to the quarterback out of the shotgun it could be too much and throw the ball off. Especially if you're a quarterback, you don't necessarily want to take your eyes off the defense. You want to get as much information as you can. You don't really want to have to focus super hard on the football off the snap. You want to be able to see the defense, and you can't trust it right now with the way the wind is.
And Judson letting the play clock go down as low as possible. 13:30 to go here in the third, tied up at 14. Judson has run 2 plays so far from scrimmage. This is the third. Play action. Miller with time throws to his right, behind him, and still caught by Ovante Vickers. No, they say incomplete.
Oof.
Vickers thought he hauled it in with one hand. The judge on the far side says no, incomplete pass.
And that's kind of tough for that official to make that call because he's behind the play, and Vickers made that catch kind of as a back shoulder throw, maybe a back hip throw in that situation because it was kind of low. But they say incomplete, it's incomplete. But still a strong throw and a good attempt for Ovante Vickers.
Yeah, and I like the ball placement. Back shoulder fade, maybe could have gotten it up a little bit more, but I like the idea and the ball placement so far from Christian Miller.
That's a safe spot to put it.
Yeah, and Miller has had himself a productive game. Last week did throw 2 interceptions. Today he's thrown 1, but he's also thrown for a touchdown. And you look at his line as a whole, he's completing 50% of his passes. Give to Mackey is continuing to rumble forward past the 40, and this is going to bring up 4th down and about maybe 2. And, well, you're 4 for 6 on 4th down. I'd be shocked to see Judson not go for it here.
Yeah, big wheels keep on rolling. That's what they're going to do right here. Leave that offense on the field. We're going to get a official timeout here because there's a man down on the field, and can't quite identify the number yet. It might be Daryl Krieger, 24.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be an injury timeout. We'll take one with them. We're in the third quarter, 12:59 to go, tied up at 14. It's 4th and 2 when we return here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network.
Yeah, that's right. I think this program started in 2014.
Missouri Baptist?
Mm-hmm.
Krieger able to get up under his own power. Glad to see that happen. And now it's 4th and 2 here in the third quarter. Ryan, what are you drawing up here? Tied at 14 and having some success running the football here on this drive.
Fumble the snap, have Keontae Fox run to the middle of the field and throw it to him.
Well, that did happen earlier in the game on 4th down, and Judson was able to move the chains. 12:42 here in the third. Tied at 14. Ovante Vickers at the top of your screen. Let's see if they go his way. Instead, pitch to Mackey. Tries to work the left side. He's got the first down. Fights off a tackle. Still on his feet. Stiffs arm another. 10-5. Touchdown. Brandon Markey breaks free. Not 1 but 2 tackles. Raekwon Ramsey almost had him. Couldn't bring him down. Instead, it's a 46-yard rushing touchdown, and it gives Judson its first lead today.
Man, Brandon Mackey could be on Good Morning Football. That was an angry run. Mercy. He said, get off me, talk to the hand, all the way to the end zone, touchdown. That was great. That's a heck of a run.
Not only are the Eagles 5 for 7 on 4th down, they've got their first lead of the afternoon, 20-14. Omar Romero, the new kicker, trying to make it 21-14. And it is up and through. Kept it just inside the left upright. Manuel Romero, and he makes it 21-14. Here with 12:22 to go in the third. We'll take a timeout. When we return, it'll be Judson kicking off to Missouri Baptist here on the Eagles YouTube network.
Man, 4th down. Hey, don't punt for the rest of the day. Try not to. What was that 5 for 7 on 4th? You guys are going crazy right now. Sweet kid or not?
Used there for a second. I thought he was a little wide fig away from the trip zone.
The third quarter continues, but it's Judson striking first. They get the ball to begin the second half, and, well, they go on a long drive capped off by a 46-yard rushing touchdown from Brandon Mackey, and it is now 21-14 here in the third quarter. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori, and while Brandon Mackey, he didn't break just one tackle. He broke 2 tackles on fourth down and then took it down the sideline to the house.
I think he broke Raekwon Ramsey's ego too, right? That stiff arm, that's enough to break a man. But fourth down efficiency right now, 5 of 7. That touchdown run came on fourth down, Jared.
Yeah, 5 plays on that drive, covering 60 yards, and an excellent special teams tackle there by Xander Gramarosa. And it's going to be Missouri Baptist back to work here in the second half at around their own 25.
Again, this offense found a ton of success running the ball early on, but I think they're probably their final 3 drives in the first half, they had nothing going for them. It was a couple turnovers on downs, and I think the Eagles really figured out their running game there towards the end of the second half. Of course, you go into the locker room to make adjustments. We'll see what Mobap does here.
Yeah, they got to get the passing game going, I think. Cooper Brown is the backup quarterback. He gives to his starting running back, Lionel Banks, who has 2 touchdowns already, and he gets nothing there. Sniffed out by Clifton Jimerson along with E.J. Glover, and it's going to bring up second down and 10. Cooper Brown right now today, passing, has 2 completions for 10 yards.
Yeah, they just have not trusted his arm. I think that's a clear indication of that statement. 2 for 4 for 10 yards. They either just don't want to throw the ball or they don't trust their backup quarterback to throw the ball.
Second down, game clock rolls to 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Split backfield, 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. 3 down linemen, 6 at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if Judson brings pressure. Motion man, Brown rolls to his right, now throws behind and finds his man around the 37. No, they say incomplete. Josh Munn couldn't haul it in. It's going to bring up third down.
Third down and long, too, and I mean, he was wide open. Again, Cooper Brown now 2 for 5. That guy's open in the middle of the field. You're on the run a little bit, yes, but you should be able to hit him in the numbers. There's nobody in your immediate vicinity. There's nobody in Munn's immediate vicinity. That should be a completion. Instead, it goes as an incompletion. But again, remember, early on in the game, we talked about his kind of profile and who he is as a quarterback, Cooper Brown. He kind of short arms the ball, and I talked about how he's still able to be accurate. He hasn't shown that today.
Lionel Banks didn't get the majority of the carries late in the second half. Cooper Brown to throw, short arms it, looking for Munn on the outside on a comeback route. And this is going to bring out the punting unit again for Missouri Baptist. And, well, they've struggled getting off strong punts so far.
You got to watch for a fake here. This is a prime opportunity for a fake punt.
O'Dane Reed, his only punt today, went for 9 yards, and he's going into the wind, too.
I think that so O'Dane Reed had that first punt. This looks like Jaden George.
So they're going to switch up the punting unit, too. It's not even going to be Reed, who's done most of the kicking today. High snap. Blocked! And it's going to take a Missouri Baptist bounce, get all the way out to about the 41. It was Noah Solis getting a hand on it. An excellent field position again for Judson. Let's see if they can continue to keep this offensive momentum going.
And this is a prime opportunity to do it, right? I think it was either – I pointed to Solis when I was spotting it. It might have been Krajin who was getting a lot of love when he came to the sideline. Either way, a blocked punt, and now you have a chance to take a 2-score lead in opponent territory already. Just keep doing what you're doing. Turn and give it to the belly of the beast. Brandon Mackey, if he has a strong last 2 games of this season, could be in contention for All-American conversation, and for a young program to have back-to-back All-Americans would be incredible. You give Mackey another chance here, he might have a strong talking point for the committee.
Keontae Fox was off the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to put him near the line. 3 receivers set to the left. They got another tight end in Mueller on the right. Give goes to Brandon Mackey. Jumps in cut with a jump cut all the way to the Missouri Baptist 35. And Mackey starting to hit the holes with a little bit more conviction. And again, he hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Slow start in the first half, but picking it up here in the second half.
Yeah, most definitely. Remember, we said early on, Brandon Mackey, he's going to have to run to the back of his offensive line a couple times before he really sees success today. He's run the ball 21 times, and he is on the precipice. Oh, I take that back. He's already surpassed the 100-yard mark, so 21 carries, 101 for the day.
Picks up 7 yards there on first down. 3 down linemen for Missouri Baptist, 3 linebackers in the box, and 2 on the outsides just off the tackle. Miller under center, gives to Mackey, left tackle run, still on his feet, and is dragged down by Blake Knight and Cade Blightshide. Both have had pretty nice gains, and that's going to bring up 3rd and short. No, they're going to give him the first down. They're going to move the sticks. And while they're taking off a lot of clock, this is what you want to do if you're Judson.
Yeah, well, and because of the conditions today, right, we're able to have some more personnel in the booth with us today, and we're able to kind of hear maybe what the game plan might be. Clock is being chewed here. That's the only thing I'll give away is that we are looking to run the clock out. I think MoBap is doing the same thing too because they were running the ball and chewing a lot of clock as well. So
down under 10 minutes in this one. Judson has scored the only points here in the third quarter, and they lead for the first time 21-14, looking for their first conference win. Missouri Baptist all over the line of scrimmage. They got 8 in the box. Mackey tries to fight forward, gets a couple. It was Raekwon Ramsey who had gotten stiff arm on that long touchdown run earlier in the quarter to bring down Mackey here.
I think Charvel McAllister got in there too, but yeah, you're going to see a full commitment now to bringing an end to the reign of terror by Brandon Mackey over the past, 6 handoffs or so, as he's probably picked up a good 60% of a football field in his last 6 carries. So they're bringing a lot of guys down now. This might be a situation where maybe we see that triple set on the left or the right side and shoot a ball deep to Siebens or whomever.
We'll have to wait and see what Judson does. They lead 21-14, and they're letting the clock go as low as possible. I can't see the play clock. It's on the field with the refs. Game clock, though, is just over 8.5 minutes. Miller under center. Play fake. With time. Throws to his left. Finds his man, Keontae Fox. Keontae Fox with the catch. And, a late flag comes in, and it was Thomas Cloud who's going to get called for the, late hit, unnecessary roughness, personal foul, you name it.
I mean, he basically just upended Ovante Vickers, had him down, had him tackled, and upended him, and that's a free 15 yards, a frustration penalty for sure. It might even end up being half the distance to the goal here. But on that play, on that shot to Vickers, he was the second read. The ball was supposed to, I think, go downfield to Siebens, and with a huge human like Jeremiah Austin breathing down his face.
You're good.
Christian Miller able to...
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 9, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So this is going to give Judson first and goal.
So just to finish that point, Christian Miller comes underneath then to Ovante Vickers and makes a great throw.
It was a beautiful throw, and I like what I'm seeing from under center. We haven't seen this at all this season. It's been effective for Judson here in the third quarter. On top, 21-14, looking to go up 28-14 with the ball inside the Missouri Baptist 10-yard line.
Why don't we just run it a stretch? Can you run it? Can you run it?
Christian Miller under center, turns, pitch to Mackey, working the right side, turns the corner, and can't quite get past the last runner. It was an excellent tackle by Daniel Creighton, the safety on the backside, but it is going to be a positive pickup on first down.
Yeah, I mean, and just a great play right there. They decided to go off tackle, or I guess more of obviously a pitch there, instead of between the tackles that they've been doing here recently. So just kind of changing up the look, especially close to the goal line. One man to beat, just couldn't beat him.
And the Eagles are getting heavy personnel. They just brought Josh Mason, their defensive tackle, in at fullback. Let's see if he tries to set up a running lane for Brandon Mackey.
Just hand it to him.
They've got Ovante Vickers outside the numbers at the top of your screen. Miller under center. Gives to Mackey, and Mackey is stuffed on second down. No chance there. Excellent pursuit by defensive lineman Jeremiah Austin. This is going to bring up third down and goal in the third. Judson looking to double its lead at 21-14.
And, you know, your third down and goal from, about the 3 here, you're definitely in 4-down territory. So you got 2 more plays to pick up 3 yards.
Yeah, I think it's definitely 4-down territory, especially considering how Missouri Baptist has struggled to move the ball offensively here in the third. Game clock under 6.5 minutes in the third. Miller getting the play call from the sideline. They've got time, and you can see they want to take as much time off the clock as possible.
Look at the mismatch on Vickers here.
In the slot at the bottom of your screen. Motion out Mackey. Looking for Vickers. They find him. He hauls it in. Ovante Vickers, his second touchdown score, got right in front of Blake Knight, and he has made this a 27-14 ball game.
2 touchdowns on the day now for Ovante Vickers, and that's just really curious coverage right there, Jared. How do you play that far off of a reigning All-American and allow him to make whatever move he wants on a middle linebacker on the goal line? You have to have a DB in front of him. I would even say that's the guy on the offense. If you're going to double team somebody, he's the guy you do it to, and they play soft coverage on him and allow him a free shot.
Manuel Romero looking to remain perfect on point afters. This one is blocked and fumbled by Missouri Baptist. However, it'll keep it at 27-14, 6:12 here to go in the third. We'll take a timeout. When we return, we'll be ready to resume third quarter action here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network.
That was...
It's 12 to go here in the third. The Judson Eagles have scored 13 unanswered here in the third quarter. They have their biggest lead today, 27-14. Romero's kick hauled in around the 30 and still pushing forward all the way out to about the 44-yard line is Ronald Allen, and that is where the Missouri Baptist Spartans will go to work. They led 7-0 less than 3 minutes into the game, but give Judson credit. They were able to regroup, and they have scored 20 unanswered points.
Yeah, and they've looked really good doing it. Having Brandon Mackey back brings so much depth to this offense because he's able to give you successful run plays. And I think Sharon Boyd, Nigel Bruce as a tandem filled in very nicely in his absence. But having Brandon Mackey back, like I said, just gives so much to this offense.
It's been a struggle for Cooper Brown in the passing game today for the Spartans. This one goes to Lionel Banks, and it's stuff. Josh Mason, who we saw in at fullback, gets the stop there on first down. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Judson looking for their first conference win of the season. And, well, things are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, no, I think both sides of the football are operating on about as good as we've seen both of them all year. I mean, we were scared about Lionel Banks and what his stat line might look like at the end of this game early on, but they've really been able to bottle him up. He hasn't had a big play since the first quarter, and the Eagles are just stopping the run at all cost right now.
Missouri Baptist, I'm surprised. They're really taking their time. Game clock just under 5:20 here in the third. Pitch is a delayed one to Banks down the right sideline. Gets out past midfield before getting pushed out of bounds by Noah Solis. And this is going to bring up third down. Again, you talk about Lionel Banks and the impact he had early on in this game. 4 carries over 20 yards and 2 touchdowns, but since then they've held him to under 50 yards on 8 carries.
Yeah, he really hasn't had a big breakout run. His longest of the day was 36, and that's really the last big play that he's had. He's impacted the game with, maybe 5-6 yard run here and there, but again, for the most part, the Eagles are stuffing up that run game.
Missouri Baptist needs to get to the Judson 46 to move the chains.
They're going to have to throw it here.
Yeah, they got one tight end on the far side of the formation and one receiver, Chris Munn, at the bottom of your screen. It goes to Lionel Banks, and Banks stuffed again. Guess who? Josh Mason, along with E.J. Glover. Man, have they had a big impact here in the second half.
Oh, and Banks is
Lionel
down.
Banks in a lot of pain. And even the Judson Eagles athletic training staff is going to go out to take a look at him. Oh, you hate to see this happen.
Yeah, I take this opportunity, too, to say, you want to know what type of guy is leading the Judson University Eagles? Dan Poplasik is the first guy to an injured player for the opposing team, standing over and making sure he's okay. And we do sure hope that Lionel Banks is all right.
Oh, no, just terrible. I hate to see that happen. And we're going to take a timeout due to the injury. 4:21 to go here in the third. It's Judson 27, Missouri Baptist 14. We'll be back as soon as Lionel Banks and the training staff are done taking a look at him.
He causes havoc against opposing defenses.
First down for the Judson Eagles. If they find the end zone, they'll need to cover 69 yards here on the home field of the Streamwood High School Sabres. Miller, play action. Tons of time. Throwing to the far sideline. A wobbler for Siemens. Just a little bit too far out of his reach. Wow, Christian Miller got a lot underneath that one and a little bit too far out of the reach of Siemens.
Yeah, and Charvel McAllister was there on the coverage, and I think these referees have just been letting the boys play today, which I am very much in favor of. But I also think that there was a little bit of holding maybe coming down this near sideline against Alex Siemens. Charvel McAllister getting a little handsy.
Second down and 10 as the clock stops following the incomplete pass. 3:51 to go here in the third quarter. It's been all Judson here in the third. They lead 27-14, have scored 20 unanswered points.
If you're going to take a shot, though, first down is a decent time to do it, especially with a two-score lead. Now I think you do exactly that and hand it off to your running back.
And Mackey stuffed initially, reverses field, past the 35, out to the 40, close to the marker, is going to get about 8. And he took his man with him, Daniel Crichton, before bringing him down. This is going to bring up third and short.
I feel like we need to give Brandon Mackey some sort of nickname. It might end up being like Mr. Move the Sticks or something. It feels like every time he touches the ball, he's picking up a first down.
Third down and 2. We're in the third quarter. 3:24 to go. And Christian Miller and the Judson Eagles really taking their time as they get the play from the sideline from Brian Melvin and Jake Lemming. Miller under center, switching sides, the tight end, Keontae Fox. It gives to Mackey. Mackey trying to stretch it out to the left, has the first down, then some, still sidestepping in near midfield, is going to pick up about 8 when he only needed 2, but a flag is there on the far sideline.
And they're going to call it a false start on the offense here.
A false start is going to negate that run, and it's going to make third down, 3rd and 7. And Brandon Mackey just doing a really nice job of hitting the holes with finesse, which is something we didn't see necessarily in the first half.
No, but he came to the sideline there and made a nice move with the feet staying in bounds, cutting back in.
Nolan, tell him to put his heels at 8. Tell him to do 8 yards. He's still isn't getting it.
So they'll call a false start on the offense. And actually be a first down here.
That's fine. Remember, he's right there. Tell him to stay right there.
Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Jordan West comes off the field. And now let's see what the Eagles draw up here on 3rd and 7. Haven't seen a whole lot of Avant Rowe at the receiver position, but he is out at the top of your screen. And with his speed, they might take a shot with him matched up one-on-one on Domingo Loggins. 3 down linemen, 3 backers in the box, 1 on the outside just off the right tackle. Mackey takes the carry, tries to jump cut it inside, and is hit hard. A good hit from Blake Knight. And this is going to bring up 4th down. And Judson's got 1 man down. It's the right guard, Caleb Davis. Excuse me, 2nd down.
Second down at about 14 here, and Davis back up to his feet, so that's good. This offensive line's been doing a good job today, man. Again, this is the second week in a row we've seen this alignment, and I think that they've really been doing a good job against a pretty phenomenal front 4, allowing Brandon Mackey to get up over 100 yards. They've given Christian Miller a ton of time in the pocket to make some big passes today, too, and it would certainly be a tragedy if they lost somebody on that line today.
It looked like he was actually able to get up, though. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 14. They need to get to the Missouri Baptist 49. Fake the screen to Mackey over the middle. Keontae Fox can't hang on. A hard hit comes in, and a late flag comes in. Hit delivered by Daniel Creighton. And I got to be honest, I think that one might need to get picked up. I thought he got him with his shoulder.
I thought he led with the shoulder there, too. They're going to get together and have a conversation about it. That looked like a pretty textbook hit right there from a safety.
Yeah, I don't know how you obviously, really tough job officiating, tough call. And, well, the officials are meeting, yeah. And the longer they talk, the more probably the chances of it getting overturned increase.
Wait to hear from the head ref. We haven't heard a ton from today.
No, it's been a pretty quiet game penalty-wise. And again, it's been a pretty fast-moving game. We're almost near the fourth quarter, and we're not even 2 minutes in. Or 2 hours in, excuse me.
This game's on like times 10 fast forward.
No, not 2 minutes, 2 hours. And they are not going to pick up the flag. It is going to be personal foul against Crichton. And is this with targeting? It is with targeting, so Crichton's done. He has been disqualified.
Yeah, so Crichton, the backup safety, leaves Daryl Krieger alone as the only man on the 2 deep. We'll see if anybody moves into that spot there, but that's a significant loss, especially if that stands after the review period that they'll have after this game. They'll lose him for the first quarter of the first half rather of the St. Ambrose game next week.
Yeah, and they'll have to probably review that after the game, as
right.
The officials will get together.
We saw that happen last week. A linebacker for St. X was ejected in the first half for targeting. They reviewed it at halftime and brought him back the second half because they deemed it was not targeting in the review period at halftime.
Game clock begins to run under a minute. Christian Miller under center at the Missouri Baptist 49. Keontae Fox switches sides. Mackey takes the give in the belly, tries to go off tackle to the right, still on his feet, and rumbles forward all the way to the Missouri Baptist 42. He picks up 7 hard yards on first down. Wow, has he been a beast here in the second half.
He's unbelievable, man, and he's one of those running backs you love watching run the ball because he's violent, yet he has finesse. He falls forward for the extra yards, and he knows how to break the tackles. He's just one of those guys that's very special to watch run a football.
Indeed, indeed, and this will probably be the final play of the quarter as the clock ticks under 30 seconds. Our score, 27-14, Judson on top. They have scored 20 unanswered points. Missouri Baptist hasn't scored since the end of the first quarter. Miller bobbles the snap and nearly throws a pick off the hands of Charvel Callister, and that probably would have gone for a touchdown if he held on to it.
Yeah, likely. But again, remember the curveball that we saw thrown in the first half, or the knuckleball as we referred to it. That's I think what Charvel McAllister was seeing right there, and
wow.
Man, he's still shaking his head right here on the near sideline.
Incomplete pass will stop the clock, and I'm surprised Judson's throwing the ball there.
Me too, but I think you also have to make sure that you're switching things up and giving a different look. Otherwise, you're going to get 8 guys, 9 guys in the box against Brandon Mackey, and while he's phenomenal, it's hard to make 9 guys miss.
15 seconds, third down. Mackey tries to work it to the left, no chance. There's Sains again. His third tackle for a loss. And Judson might be looking for a timeout before the end of the quarter so they don't have to punt into the win. A really smart decision by head coach Dan Paplazik, and he gets it off with 0.7 seconds. A very smart decision.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, and they almost didn't get that decision in, but this is the right thing to do because now you can punt that ball up, let it ride the jet stream, hopefully down it inside the 20 or so, and really make it a long field for the Spartans who haven't been able to move the ball. But we'll see that in just a second. I'm curious if at all they let Cooper Brown throw the ball. They're only down 2 scores. They have an opportunity to move back into this game, but they've been so determined to run the football here in the second half. You can't really make up a deficit that way, especially with the way they've been running it.
Much more difficult. But I love this decision to use the timeout. You may be saying the quarter was about to end, but yeah, that means they're going to flip sides too. So a really good decision by Dan Paplazik, and you could tell he was thinking that before they ran that previous offensive play.
So I think they're going to send that punting unit out there, and it might actually be the offensive unit as Christian Miller and company back out there.
It could be Miller to punt. We've seen him do it this season. Miller so far as a punter has punted in the last 2 games. And it looks like he will punt here. And he does.
Oh.
High punt. And this might take a good Judson bounce. And a little too many bounces there. But it's going to make Missouri Baptist go 80 yards. And again, Judson up 13. That's a 2-score differential. That does it for the end of the third quarter. We'll take another timeout. When we return, we'll be ready for the start of the fourth here on the Judson University Eagles YouTube network.
Mic test. Test.
(27-14) our score as we get ready to begin the fourth quarter. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. It's been all Eagles down the stretch. They're 1 quarter away from their first conference win of the season. And while 20 unanswered, it's given them a 27-14 lead.
Yeah, it's been all Eagles. And that is an awesome thing to say. You catch a little bit of momentum here towards the end of the season. You go up against a miserable Trinity International team next week. If you could pull this win out, it'd be huge. As Cooper Brown goes off the right side with the run, picks up maybe 6 yards there.
Well, Missouri Baptist has had a hard time moving the ball, especially late. And the passing game has been pretty much obsolete. 2 completions for Cooper Brown and only for 10 yards.
They have completely abandoned any sort of passing game. And I think that is very peculiar, given where they're at, given how much time is left. It's almost like they're just content with possibly losing the game because they're running the ball too much, and the Eagles have that snuffed out. Like, you got to at least give it a try.
Reverse to the other side of the field. Judson sniffs it out pretty well, and some hard hitting there delivered by the Eagles defense. It was Dominique Carter with the big blow. And, wow, you talk about a good hit put on Cameron Sloan.
Yeah, I mean, that was form tackling right there. 2 Eagles in the vicinity to bring him down. And that's a tricky play, especially when you haven't seen it all game. When you break it out in the fourth quarter, it can be one that catches you on your heels. Judson on their toes right there.
Indeed, indeed. Jared Schlensky alongside Ryan Sartori. We're in the fourth quarter. Missouri Baptist trailing 27-14. Third down here for the Spartans. They need to get to the Judson 31.
We're going to do that under 7-2, right?
With time, Cooper over the middle. Just a little bit too far out of the reach of his receiver in Munn. He's been looking for Josh Munn a lot today, and that one, well, they just couldn't connect there.
I think that's got to be Munn's second or third drop on the day, too. And if that's the case, right, if you just got a bunch of wide receivers who are having a hard time corralling the football on a day like today, maybe that adds to it. Maybe it's not solely on Cooper Brown. It could be on, the receiving unit as well. But it's been tough on offense for the Spartans today. You think about it, the Eagles' defense has really only given up 1 drive of consequence. The opening drive was less than 10 yards, and it set them up perfectly. And the drive after that,
bobbled snap, rolling right with plenty of room for Missouri Baptist. Gavin Cloud is short, and it's going to be Judson football at the Missouri Baptist 27. So excellent field position for the Eagles, and they could put the game away here.
Yeah, this could be the swan song. And I was surprised there wasn't a flag thrown on the near side of the field that would have completely nullified the play anyway. It looked like maybe some holding or unnecessary roughness here on the near side, but still the special teams unit comes up there with a nice focused play to put an end to that drive and gives the offense plus field position.
Been all Judson here in the second half. They lead 27-14. They are less than 13 minutes away from their first conference win of the season. And, well, for just your second season as a football program, this could do wonders for this team's psyche moving forward.
I think so, too. I think that's definitely a possibility. I think that it sets yourself apart from, the bottom parts of the conference that you're in, right? You want to be able to beat Missouri Baptist on a year-in, year-out situation. Same thing with Trinity.
Give goes to Mackey, and Mackey is taken down for a loss. It was Raekwon Ramsey all over it there as they try to run that stretch run to the left. And here comes second down and about 12 for Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, Mackey a little slow to get up right there, but he looks all right. I think they're actually going to send Sharon Boyd on for him and give Mackey reprieve here for just a moment.
George Slensky alongside Ryan Sartori. Glad to have you along if you are watching on the YouTube channel, home of your Judson Eagles. Judson will have its final game next week against Trinity International. It'll be me and Ryan here doing that game. We've done all the home games this season.
Yeah, I can't believe the season's that close to being over already, Jared. Feels like we just started.
Couldn't agree more. This time it's Sharon Boyd. First time we've seen him in, and Boyd does not get a whole lot. Blake Knight along with Raekwon Ramsey get the stop to set up third and long.
And here comes Mackey back onto the field, so that's a welcome sign for the Eagles.
Judson Eagles have really put it together today, and I'll tell you the difference if you ask me. Fourth down conversions.
Yeah.
Judson today, 5 of 7 on fourth down, and considering they're only 1 of 9 on third down, that's allowed them to keep some drives alive.
Yeah, and I think that if you're the Eagles, you're super happy with your fourth down efficiency, and you'll take that into this next week of work, very happy about it, but you also have to be very aware of the fact that you're 1 of 9 on third.
Vontae Vickers, bottom of your screen. Instead, they give the jet sweep to Nigel Bruce, and Bruce punishes defenders forward inside the 25 to about the 22, and this is going to bring up fourth down and about 4 to go.
Yeah, I think you leave the offense on here. I don't know why you'd bring them off. And, they tried that punt out of this formation a couple of minutes ago, but I think with how short this field is, I don't know that you'd do that here. I think you'd like a more elongated approach to try to get a coffin corner or something. Also kind of fun to think that you might punt inside the 25. But here they go on fourth.
10:45 to go here in the fourth. Judson needs to get to the Missouri Baptist 18 to move the sticks. Fake it to Nigel Bruce. Instead goes to Brandon Mackey, and Mackey unable to pick up the first down. And the Spartans say they have the football. Either way, it won't matter. Daryl Krieger comes away with it. It's going to be Spartans football on the turnover on downs.
Yeah, and this is Achilles' last dance, so to speak, in my opinion. You're down 2 scores. You really got to put together a comprehensive drive, whether it means slow and methodical. I think that's probably their approach. They're going to have to try something here to try to get points on the board because what they have been doing simply does not work. They're playing right into the teeth of this Eagles defense, and now it's time to switch some things up, and we'll see.
Missouri Baptist is probably going to have to go to the air. Cooper Brown, 2 for 7. Play fake. Rolls right, throws in, too low out of the reach of his running back in the flat. That was Darius Morrison, and he had a lot of room if he was able to hit him.
And again, just a little errand on the pass, just a little bit too far out of reach. We've seen that. We've seen drops, and we've seen reasons and evidence as to why they don't want to throw the ball. It's much easier to just turn and hand it to the belly of your running back, but Lionel Banks out with injury now. It's all on Darius Morrison, who hasn't been as successful on the ground today. He's only 6 for 18 today.
Brown, second down, counter run. Morrison trying to go to the left. He's got room down the sideline, past the 35 to the 40, a first down, and now you got to think Missouri Baptist is going to try and work a little bit quicker here.
And they're going to have to. And as I say, Darius Morrison hasn't been as successful on the ground. I eat crow. as he goes for 15 there.
Yeah, a powerful run that he was able to stretch out and then use his speed because they originally had that stuffed up the middle.
Mm-hmm. And kind of tightrope down the sideline here and able to pick up a good chunk. Probably the biggest play they've had since the second quarter.
It's going to move the sticks, set up 1st and 10 from their own 40. Down 27-14. Brown going to air it out deep to the right. Incomplete. Looking for his speedster, Cameron Sloan. And that's going to stop the clock, which is good for Missouri Baptist. And if you're Judson, though, an excellent job, though, of keeping that contained on the back end.
Definitely, and that first down play where you say they gotta pick up their pace a little bit, that's an excellent time to try to throw the ball down the field with the wind at your back. Cooper Brown just throws it a little bit too far out of reach for Sloan. Now on second down, I would be prepared for a run or a short pass here.
Let's see what they have in store. 9:43, Judson up 27-14. They have not given up any points since the first quarter. Brown rolls right, on the move, finds his man near the stick. Unable to get the first down is Jacob Harness. And, well, that's a nice job there by the receiver, getting to the outside and nearly getting the first down.
So now third down and short. And, again, I would be prepped for a run here. They've shown willingness to throw the ball a bit more now. But don't forget what their tendencies have been, is to just run.
And you have to think it's 4-down territory here. Down 2 scores with the ball with 9 minutes and ticking. Cal Lambert in the game now. Cooper Brown gives instead to Morrison, and Morrison, who is in the backfield, gets the first down and then some. He is really getting comfortable in that lead back role since Banks went out.
Yeah, that's his second real big chunk play right there. And we've got a little mix-up here as Josh Mason has to pull Chance Krajine out of a pile. He was tangled up with Xavier Tipler, the center.
And you can see Mason trying to settle him down.
First real threat that Mobap has had since the first quarter here.
8:30 and counting. Been all Judson here in the second half. They lead 27-14. This defense has been phenomenal. The big difference, what they've done against the pass. They've allowed 18 passing yards. Brown gives to Morrison again. No, this time it is Banks. Or excuse me, this time it is Cale Lambert. First time he's touched the ball, and he doesn't get much here on first down.
And as long as you are letting them beat you with the pass, you're doing a good job if you're the Eagles. Don't let them beat you with their bread and butter. Force them to beat you with what isn't their bread and butter, throwing the ball today.
And again, Cooper Brown is not the starter by trade. He started the season as the backup and also has experience at other positions. Brown, 3-step drop. With time, airs it out, right sideline, finds his man, and he dropped it! Munn had it and bobbled it. He nearly hauled it in, but couldn't. And that is going to be a huge break for the Eagles.
Oh, Josh Munn. He was the quarterback of this team last year in this matchup. He was 11 for 24 with 141 yards. Today he's got at least 3 drops, and that one would have been a touchdown to bring it within 1 score. Oh, Josh Munn.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's going to bring up third down, and that would have made it a 1-score game.
If Mobap goes on to lose this game, it will be a long, quiet ride back to St. Louis for Josh Munn.
Third down. Cooper Brown has pressure. 5-man rush to his right, way over the head of his man Sloan, and this is going to bring up fourth down, and you got to think they're going to go for it. They already went for it once on this drive and picked it up.
Yeah, well, they have to, right? We're now under 7.5 minutes as the clock stops, and they're down 2 scores, and they don't know when they're going to get the ball back, if they're going to get the ball back. Judson is content running the ball as much as they want, and I think Brandon Mackey can milk the clock out for what it's worth. So they have to throw the ball here. They have to throw it at least 10 yards, too.
Fourth down for this Judson Eagles team. They need to get to the Judson 31. 4th and 10. Not easy to pick up. And again, only 18 passing yards. Let's see if Judson brings pressure. They do. They bring 6. Mason nearly got to him. Instead, it's caught by the tight end down the sideline, Sean Wright. First time we've called Wright's name as he was hit by Bryce Heary out of bounds. But wow, a nice throw there from Brown on 4th and 10.
Well, and a nice reception too, right? Tight rope in the sideline. You got guys on top, guys underneath, guys coming from the side too. So he found a nice little pocket right there against the zone coverage. Sean Wright with a huge catch on 4th down, and that's probably the biggest play we've seen through the air today for the Spartans.
No doubt about it, and that is a drive killer if you're Judson because you had a chance to get off the field. 3 receivers to the right. Brown has all day. Finds Munn, hauls it in, and Munn gets about 5. E.J. Glover brings him down. And that pitch and catch more than doubled the passing total on the previous play between Brown and Wright. It went for 29 yards.
Yeah, that's it's crazy to think 29's the longest today, right? They've had a bunch of different opportunities, guys dropping balls and whatever, and at times they just simply haven't wanted to throw the ball at all. So
Missouri Baptist moving the football. They are inside the Judson 10, and they still can pick up a first down here.
Ryan, be ready for onside.
Brown gives to Morrison. Morrison trying to weave through. Can't. Josh Mason again. Another tackle for loss. He's had himself maybe his best game of the season.
yeah, Josh Mason has been, it seems, everywhere today, though only registered so far is 3 tackles. I think that's probably a miscalculation because he has been everywhere today. We've called his name numerous times.
Be a second, though, for loss. 3rd down. Clock continues to roll. We're at 5:35 here in the 4th. Judson on top, 27-14. And you have to think, Ryan, if Missouri scores here, they're probably going to do an onside kick.
Mm-hmm. They've got to do anything to get the ball back.
Cooper Munn set the screen, and it was thrown by Cooper Brown to Shane Becker. It's not going to count, though. Illegal formation. And that is a bad break for Missouri Baptist because they had it there.
Yeah, I think the head coach of the Spartans here, Jason Baraniak, is over there just absolutely screaming his lungs out at the officials on the far side.
Illegal shift.
Yeah, illegal shift against
5-yard penalty.
this Missouri Baptist team is going to negate the touchdown. This is going to make it still 3rd down, but it's going to be 5 yards further.
Yeah, and this you get a second shot here if you're the Eagles, right? You get another shot at life. Try to keep them out of the end zone. You got to come up big here. You've got another 2 plays, and you've essentially won this game for your team as we're now just over 5 minutes to play. A stop here would be crucial.
Let's see if Judson brings pressure. 4-man rush. Morrison can't find the hole again. Clogged up there by the defensive tackles for this Judson team, Mason and Heary. They've done a great job all day with run containment.
Yeah, Josh Mason, you can't say enough about what he's done today for this defense. He's been everywhere in a game where we thought Lionel Banks might have a superstar type day. Josh Mason was able to fill some gaps, eat some humans on the front line, and really put an end to that run game for them.
27-14 our score, and Missouri Baptist is going to take a timeout with 4:39 to go, or at least readjusting the chains. And well, this is huge for Judson because if they get the stop here, they essentially won the game. But if Missouri Baptist picks it up, and they've done already twice on this 4th down during this series, it would bring them within a score.
Yeah, so this is the biggest play of the game for the defense.
And a whistle in. Was a timeout taken by Judson? I think it was. And we'll take one with them. When we return, it'll be 4th down, 27-14, Judson leading. But Missouri Baptist threatening with 4:27 to go. Here in the 4th, you've got the Eagles and the Spartans on the Judson University YouTube network. Judson looking to get a 4th down stop. 4 minutes and 27 seconds to go here in quarter number 4. The Eagles clinging to a 27-14 lead. The Eagles sideline trying to get the crowd involved. Cooper Brown to pass. Over the middle, deflected and incomplete. That's going to do it here. Chance Krajine might have gotten a hand on it. It was intended for number 1, Cameron Sloan. He could never bring it in, and the Eagles get the stop. They have not allowed any points since 14 in the first quarter.
Yeah, it has been a great showing by the defensive unit today for the Eagles. You can't overstate how great they've been today. They've been awesome, and this is a unit that when you give them rest and when you allow them to go out there with, in moderation, they're good. They're a good unit. We've said this earlier in the season. Like, sometimes the offense doesn't stay on the field as long as they should. The defense is on the field a ton, and so they get tired. Attrition sets in, and it's been nice to see them operate in a regular role today and excel.
Well, if you're Judson now, you just got to control the football. You don't even have to worry about the clock. You just have to protect the football.
Yep. Protect the football. Hand it to Brandon Mackey, who's already got 31 totes today. Let him go to work. Let him pick you up a first down or two. Get out of here with a win, and get out of here with your first conference win of the season.
Christian Miller and the Eagles 4:22 away from their first conference win of the season. Brandon Mackey trying to stretch it out to the right. Now jumps it back inside and maybe gets a yard or two. Now you've got to start wondering when Missouri Baptist is going to start using its timeouts.
That's true. You have to wonder if Missouri Baptist will use their timeouts. Do they feel like it's even worth it, right? Or is, sometimes coaches get fickle and they're just like, the guys just don't have it today. I'm not calling timeouts. Let's get out of here. It's cold. It's windy. It's wet.
Yeah, I would think they would consider at least using a timeout.
I would, but I'm just saying sometimes the nature of head coaches is they get a little fickle and they just don't think their guys have it and they don't do it.
3:45 to go. Judson 27, Missouri Baptist 14. Judson with the ball, working left to right.
I think if you get a stop here, though, you'll see a timeout.
Give again to Mackey. Blake Knight, the Mike linebacker, the first one to him. And Missouri Baptist still not using a timeout.
No.
They might use it following a stop here. And again, they do need 2 scores, so they might be preserving them in case they do score before the end of the game.
Yeah, that's probably the strategy here with the stoppages for Jason Baraniak, is that he's going to use those timeouts after this possession by the Eagles. But again, if they pick up a first down here, you've essentially said, all right, this game's over. You're selling out for a big stop here. So this is a gigantic play for the Spartans.
Miller under center. Vickers. They fake the jet sweep to him. Give to Mackey. He's got to stay in bounds and does an excellent job of doing so. And 4th and short, what do you do if you're Judson? You go for this here?
That is man, this is a tough situation to be in. I think you probably punt it, but I think that we're going to figure that out after a stoppage.
And a timeout taken by the Missouri Baptist Spartans. Will take one with them. 2:17 to go. We'll be back shortly here on the Judson Eagles YouTube network. Judson 27, Missouri Baptist 14.
Timeout, Missouri Baptist. Game clock operator, please put 2 minutes, 27 seconds on the clock.
Right.
Cusp of their first conference win and second overall win of the season. As for Missouri Baptist, barring a miracle, going to fall to 4-8 and 1-8 overall. And, well, we thought maybe Judson might punt, but it looks like they're going to bring the offense at least onto the field temporarily.
I think this is going to end up being a punt out of a similar formation that we saw earlier. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are saying, go for it, go for it. We're so good at fourth down today. But right now, this is a situation where you've got 2:27 left. Stranger things have happened in football. Why not just punt this away?
Yeah, the Judson Eagles today have been outstanding on a fourth down. 5 of 8, 63%. And, well, when you're only 1 of 11 on third down, you've got to be productive on fourth down if you're going to have any chance. And, well, they have.
We're going to get another timeout here, Jared. Timeout from the opposite side of the field. Mobap calling their second.
Wow, that's huge because now they don't have any. And, well, you're down 2 scores. You're trying to preserve as much time as you can. We'll keep it here. Jared Schlinsky alongside Ryan Sartori. Ryan, we got to give credit to this Judson coaching staff. They made the adjustments necessary, especially on defense. Gave up 14 points on their first 2 drives, and, well, whatever wasn't working, they were able to rectify quickly.
100%. And, you know, again, this was a game you needed to come out and win. I think that was probably breathed throughout the entire program. Like, we need to come out and hit these boys in the mouth, and they did just that. They had a rough first sequence of the game, but after that, everybody settled in. Everybody had, I think, a great game from quarterback play to running back play. I think that even your special teams unit today played really well with the addition of Manuel Romero. Hit 3 of his 4 extra points today and had some good kickoffs as well to not give as advantageous starting position to the Spartans, and so we're back for fourth down.
Yes, we are. Jared Schlinsky joined by Ryan Sartori, fourth down. The offense is on the field. The question is, are they going to punt the football? Christian Miller rolls left, and he's going to intentionally take a safety, I think. Take as much time off the clock as possible, and just a good job there of not fumbling. And a little surprised, but it does make sense because either way you were going to give him the ball back, and either way it's still a 2-score game.
Yeah, and, we've seen this play out at the professional level a couple of times this year. Yes, you give the 2 points to the opposing team, but now you punt it, and you give it back to them, and You'll be in a situation where it's much harder for the opposing team to score 2 points, right? Because you punt it away, they have to go all the way down the field now, and then on top of that, they have to get an onside kick and score again. So in this situation, you've taken away the short field from them and made it a little bit harder for them to go down the field and get 2 scores here. But still, it's an 11-point game. They have to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they have to score 2 touchdowns in order to come out on top. The safety does end the streak of 20 unanswered points from Judson, but more importantly, they do still lead 27-16. You have the option of whether or not you want to punt or kick, and it looks like Judson is going to elect to kick.
Yeah, the only thing that is not great about this decision to take the safety here is that you are kicking into the wind, so it could be that you're still giving short field, but Manuel Romero is going to call in a holder here, and you have to assume this is going to be a low line drive kick that you got to get through the back line here of Becker and Harness.
And you can't kick it out of bounds.
Oh.
And it does go out of bounds. That's the last thing you want. And this is going to give Missouri Baptist excellent field position.
Yeah, they'll start on the 40 here. Okay, things are interesting here. This game is technically not over yet, Jared, because this is going to be plus field goal position for the Spartans. They only have 1 timeout. 1 timeout on either side right now as it's 27-16, 2:18 left.
Oh, you're going to re-kick. It moves them back even further. That's actually a break there because a penalty, I believe, would have put them at the Judson 40. I don't know if I've ever recalled a ball going out of bounds following a safety on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty unique situation. I've never seen that. The re-kick is gigantic, though.
2:15. Romero, this is a pretty good one. Hauled in at about the 45, and good special teams coverage by Judson. But good field position for Missouri Baptist. They're going to go to work from the Judson 35.
Yeah, Xander Grammarosa coming in there and getting the stop right there. they'll start at the 35. You almost wish the penalty stood at that point, right? If we're talking about field position and stuff like that, the penalty would have put them at the 40. Now they start at the 35, and you've really got to dig your heels in here because they've shown that that last drive, that they're willing to pass. So you have to play complete defense here. You can't sell out on just the run, and there's still a good chunk of time left in this game.
And don't forget, the clock will stop under 2 minutes following a first down. Throw to the outside. Hits the turf off the hands of Shane Becker. And, well, a good job there on the outside. But it does stop the clock. And don't forget, a first down under 2 minutes will also stop the clock.
Yep, so 2:06 left. Again, 11-point deficit here for the Spartans. So they have to score 2 touchdowns, or they can look to go touchdown at 2-point conversion and a field goal to tie this game, and they have a kicker that can hit from deep.
Bennett, far sideline, a little bit too far out of reach. Nice job by Ryan Ote, who's down on the following play, was looking for Munn. And Ote, slow to get up, is able to get up under his own power. It's going to bring up third down.
On the note of the Spartans kicker, O'Dane Reed, 7 for 14 on field goals this year. He's 1 for 2 in the 20 to 29 area, but he's 5 for 5 in the 30 to 39 yard area. So he can hit from deep, and that could be the situation that the Spartans are hoping for here. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then look for the field goal later on.
Timeout taken by Judson. Looked like they were not aligned properly there. And, well, I like the decision by Dan Poplazek. This is the last time you can afford something to go wrong, and you'd rather get it right with how little of time is left.
Yeah, so this will be their final timeout. And it quite literally is the last time that you can have something go wrong because you can't stop play again, bring everybody to the sideline and be like, hey, everybody focus up, let's get this right. It's third down. This is a huge play, a good opportunity here to call that timeout and make sure everybody's on the same page for what could be one of the bigger plays of the game.
What are you drawing up here on defense? You going to bring some pressure? Do you want to sit back, make Bennett have to beat you? He's had a hard time finding some of those creases down the field.
Yeah, I think the latter of what you said is exactly what you do. You can bring a little pressure, right? If you want to bring an extra guy, sure, but make sure that you have the coverage deep enough because this is 3rd and 10. You can give up something underneath. This is bend, don't break. You have an 11-point lead. There's a lot of things that have to go right for the Spartans in order for them to tie or win this game. So you don't have to do a ton here, and it looks like the Eagles are going to go with kind of like a 2-deep shell coverage here, maybe a 1-man high and bring one guy down. Yeah, it'll be 1-man high.
We'll have to see. 4th down. Bennett rolls left across his body. Finds Sloan. He's got the first down and out of bounds inside the 10. They are 3 for 3 on their last 3 4th downs.
Yeah, and they elected for more of a man coverage right there, and Cameron Sloan was left uncovered. Nobody came with him across the field. Found a nice little spot to sit down and find the pass from Cooper Brown.
That is a huge pickup, and you got to give credit to this offense. They had 18 passing yards at the end of the first half. Now, Bennett, he's got all the way up to 79. Rolls right. On the move. Looking to find him inbounds, but can't. And getting out of bounds is Shane Becker.
Yeah, and what I was going to say about the play to Cameron Sloan, the big chunk there on 4th down a moment ago, the presence of mind to stay near the sideline, scamper out of bounds to stop the clock was an intelligent play, one that's not always completed by a wide receiver. Same thing right there for Becker, who scampered out of bounds to stop the clock at 1:48.
If you're head coach Dan Poplazek, are you starting to draw up what you want to see on special teams if you do give up a score and the onside kick is coming?
If you're the head coach, I think you're going through every possible situation in your head, but you're more focused on what's happening in front of you at the moment.
Good pressure by Jimerson, forces Brown to throw it away, was looking for a harness. And, well, this Judson defense might be running out of gas a little bit, but they're still making it difficult, and that means taking time off the clock.
Yeah, now, go ahead.
27-16, a minute 44. And you have to think if Missouri Baptist gets it here, they're going to go for 2.
They have to. That's the only formula left for them. With 1:44 left, they got to get a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and then try to score again, be it a field goal or a touchdown.
Bennett to his left, out of trouble. E.J. Glover thought he was held up. Throw is in the dirt, and we've got a fight at midfield. Wow, and nobody saw it. One guy threw a punch. E.J. Glover getting into it with one of the offensive linemen. It looked to be Xavier Tippler. No, it was Darius Morrison, the running back. And wow, that was pretty entertaining. They giving up a lot of pounds. They were throwing each other left and right.
Yeah, it was like a WWE wrestling match out there. Hip toss after hip toss. Somebody went to Suplex City. There's a lot to unpack on that play because there's a touchdown throw that happened. There was a hold on the near side that nobody was paying attention to where Darius Morrison was holding E.J. Glover, and then that escalated to the wrestling match-esque type thing that we saw here on the near side. Will the touchdown stand? Or did they call it incomplete?
No, it was incomplete.
They did call that incomplete.
The question is, did they see this? It took them a long time to get the flag in there. They all came out late.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to go against Missouri Baptist.
I mean, that's a bonehead decision right there. That's about as bonehead as you can get. You're on the doorstep. You're trying to win a game, and you let your emotions get to you so much that you're hip tossing guys when your team has an opportunity to win. That's one that I'm sure Darius Morrison is going to regret, but also one he's never going to forget and live down, I'm sure.
I'm surprised it wasn't offsetting, though, because they both did exchange some pushing, some shoving.
Sure. And typically it's the second guy there, but I mean, Morrison was holding and then forcing him against the ground and then also, hip tossed him. And that's just, you cannot do that. I'm surprised he's in the game still.
4th down, a goal from the 25. Brown has to go to the end zone. He does. And it doesn't matter. Maitrez Rawls can't hang on to the pick, but that's going to seal the win, and Judson is going to pick up their first conference win of the year.
Yeah, that'll be a fade to black moment right there, Jared. 1:31 left. All there's left to do with one timeout left for the Spartans is maybe pick up 1 first down, but there's not going to be enough time for the Spartans to pick up 11 points here. Even if they do get the ball back, this game is over.
Maybe not the prettiest finish, but nonetheless a finish that is going to include a W, which we haven't seen all that much in conference play. This is their first, but for a team just in its second season, you got to give them credit. These kids have fought all year long, and to beat a team like Missouri Baptist, who was riding some momentum, it could be a program-altering victory.
Yeah, well, and when you end a 5-game losing streak, the tone around the program, around the locker room, it changes, right? Everybody's like, oh, we won. We feel a little bit lighter. Now you go into next week against Trinity International, a team who has not won yet in the MSFA Midwest League this year, and you've got a chance to compile a 2-game win streak to close out this season.
And they're going to run the ball with Brandon Mackey. I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing some kneel downs here, but Missouri Baptist will use their timeout, and they're out now. That was their final timeout.
Yep, with it'll be about 1:20 when they reset the clock here after that timeout.
Game clock operator.
But the Eagles do still need to pick up 1 first down for this thing to be officially over and elect for the kneel downs and such. But this game, regardless, is over. It's just a matter of do they have the ball when the final whistle blows or not. But this was a wire-to-wire great game. I think maybe if you exclude the first 3 minutes of this game was all Judson. Everybody, I think, executed well. The game plan was executed well. Having Brandon Mackey back was incredibly important for this offense and its success today. It added a lot of depth to it. Ovante Vickers showed up for 2 touchdowns. It was a great day for the offense, and we can't understate how great the defensive line was today. Josh Mason, man, that guy was, I think, a key reason why the defense was able to stop so much of the rushing attack of the Spartans early on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I thought it was a good game for this Judson team, and well, just got to snap the ball and not turn it over here a couple of more times, and you're going to get your first conference win of the season. Give goes to Mackey, and Mackey to his left stays in bounds, and, well, they're only going to have to snap this ball about 2 more times.
Yep, third down, and it'll be third down and long now as the clock will tick under a minute here. But so now it ends, like I said, the losing streak of 5 games. You get your first win since beating Madonna back on September the 24th. So, over a month between wins. This will feel great for the Eagles. I'm sure it will. And again, they go into the senior day next week against Trinity International with a chance to end the season on a winning streak.
One last final snap needed, and Judson is going to come out with a conference win, their first of the MSFA and their second here in 2022.
Their first win against Mobap as well, an opponent I'm sure they'll see for a long, long time. Both these programs just getting started recently as we get a flag fly here, delay a game likely. Yeah, delay a game, 22 seconds left. This one is over.
Yeah, an exciting win for this Judson University team. We can start wrapping it up now. It was not a pretty start to the game by any means. Judson starts with the ball, goes 3 and out, muffed the snap on the punt. Missouri Baptist starts with the ball inside the Judson 10, takes them 2 plays to find the end zone, and they go up 7-0. However, Judson does counter on the very next series. They cover 12 plays of 75 yards. Alex Siebens catches a 15-yard pass from Christian Miller. That made it 7-7. But right came Missouri Baptist. 6 plays, 59 yards, just under 3 minutes. Banks from 36 yards out, makes it 14-7. But then you saw Judson get going. A 15-yard touchdown pass to Avante Vickers, his first of 2 touchdown catches. Brandon Mackey, a 40-yard rushing touchdown. And then Avante Vickers, his second of 2 touchdowns late in the third. That made it 27-14. Judson intentionally takes a safety, makes it 27-16. And, well, Missouri Baptist not able to move the ball forward. And that's how the game went up 27-16. Missouri Baptist, hot start, not able to overcome the second half surge from this Judson football team.
And like I said just moments ago, it was a complete win. I think the defense learned a lot this week. I think that the defense grew a lot this week. We saw a huge performance from the defensive line, specifically Josh Mason. You don't always give a lot of love to the big guys up front, but they were phenomenal today on both sides of the ball. Brandon Mackey able to go for over 110 yards. This has got to be his 4th or 5th game this season with more than 100 yards rushing, and that's always because of your offensive line. And, they're maulers in the run game this year. Great game, great win. Eagles take their second win of the year, their first conference win too.
Yeah, one thing that you would like to see Judson get a little bit better at, third down conversion.
Oh, yeah.
They came into the game converting 26% of third down, 32 of 123. Today, 1 for 12, but the difference in why they won, 6 for 9 on 4th down. Just a couple of just gut-punching 4th down conversions. Missouri Baptist nearly had Judson off the field, but you got to look at it this way. 2 of those touchdowns were on drives where they had to go for it on 4th down and picked it up. If they're not able to, Missouri Baptist is coming out of here with a win.
Yeah, well, and how about a big hats off to Keontae Fox, right? Keontae Fox came up big on a couple of 4th down plays, opened himself wide up in the middle of the field for Christian Miller, who was under panic after fumbling the ball, right? There was just a lot of things that went Judson's way today, and when you're playing football, it helps to be good. It really helps to get a couple of lucky breaks, too. That's typically how winning teams win consistently is, great discipline, but also a little luck. Judson got some luck today and looked like a really good football team.
I'll tell you what, the defense was just phenomenal. They held this offense of Missouri Baptist, which came in averaging 333 yards to just 81 passing yards and kept them just over 100 yards on the ground. This defense showed up. Really positive energy from Chance Cregan, Bryce Heary, and Josh Mason, who really came alive in the second half. Those guys really got after the quarterback.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, Chance Cregan came up with a couple of big stops today. We talked tirelessly about how great Josh Mason was today. Let's not forget a guy like Noah Solis, right? Noah Solis, a guy who's listed as a wide receiver, is thrust into a situation to be a starting defensive back, a starting safety, and comes up big. Led the team in tackles last week. Looked really good this week with 2 tackles. And, hats off to the defense. Both sides of the ball look great today.
Yeah, and you got to give a shout-out, too, to Brandon Mackey. Far from 100%. We thought he was done for the season. All of a sudden, he's out there on the first play of the game. 36 carries, 117 yards. This was a young man who hasn't played in about 3 weeks. And he really carried the way, and you can tell they're just a better offense with him out there.
Like I said early on, he adds a ton of depth. He allows guys like Ovante Vickers to free up himself, right? Like he's not working in double teams, triple teams where people are only focused on him. With Brandon Mackey on the field, there's 2 weapons present on the field that defenses have to pay attention to, and so typically one of those 2 weapons is going to be able to impact any given play. Today it was a lot of Brandon Mackey, but on 2 plays it was Ovante Vickers as he reeled in 2 TDs today.
Indeed he was, and again, congratulations to Judson. They pick up their first conference win of the season. They improve now to 2-7 on the year and 1-5 in conference play. Missouri Baptist unable to win consecutive games for the first time it would have been the second time this season. They fall to 4-8 and 1-7 in conference play. For Ryan Sartori, the man to my left, I'm Jared Schlinsky, wishing you a great Saturday. We'll see you next week. It's Judson's final game of the season when they take on the Trinity International program, another relatively new program to the NAIA landscape. We'll have it for you next week. Final game of the year between the two. Jared Schlinsky saying so long. See you next week.